present Downpayment on Death. A thriller in 5 parts. Adapted from his own novel by Jim Eldridge. With Dinsdale Landon as Art Gordo. Part 1. A Shot in the Night.
It was September when I quit the British Secret Service. The leaves were falling from the trees, and I was sick of the espionage business. I'd started in a desk job and ended up killing people. The trouble was, the department thought I was good at it. That's why I had to quit. Arthur J. Gordo, professional assassin. My friends call me Art. Well, not that a professional assassin has many friends. For the rest of September, and all through October and November, I wandered around, wondering which line to go into next. But what can you do after you've been a professional killer? Instead, I sat in my flat, drank too much, and kidded myself that something would come along. It was one night in December that something did come along. With a bit of luck, it'll be the blonde upstairs inviting me to look at her etchings. Coming!
Hello, Gordo, old man.
Clark! What do you want?
Well, I happen to be in the area. I thought I'd pop in on the off chance, you know, compliments of the season and all that.
Yeah, you never did anything on the off chance.
Oh, honestly, old man, you really are a suspicious beggar. Look, can I come in? It's a bit cold out here.
Yeah, I suppose so.
That's better. You know, I think we're going to have a white Christmas this year, old man.
Yeah, you didn't come here to talk about Santa Claus, Clark. Now, what do you want, Or is it the department?
You've not exactly got the Christmas spirit, Gordo, old man. I don't suppose you'd fancy offering me a drink, would you?
Whiskey?
That's very decent of you. Well, how are you finding retirement? Bit quiet after the old game, eh?
It stopped being a game. My days as a hired killer are over. Just in case you did have another reason for calling. Oh, cheers.
Cheers. That's a bit melodramatic, isn't it, old man? I mean, the hired killer. We're all civil servants, really. We've all got jobs to do.
Come off it, Clark. It's a nasty business, however you package it, and it made me sick. That's why I quit.
Where is your sense of patriotism?
In this glass I'm holding.
Yes, that's all very well, but, you know, you were our best.
Well, if you say so.
You know, Freddie's sort of taken over as number one. Not quite the same, though.
Yeah, well, Freddie was always very good. He lacks a conscience. That's why he's good.
Oh, and guess what? Reggie finally got married.
Oh, which poor woman's taken him on?
Sandra Sinclair. Remember her? She was...
Yes, Department F. Good operative. I worked an assignment with her about, 2 years ago.
Yes, I remember. That mid-channel job.
Yeah, that was it. Very nice girl. I pity she's got herself saddled with Reggie. So it's all change at the department, eh?
Oh, no, not really. No, it's the odd new face, but it's the same old job. Usual stuff, you know.
Yeah, I know.
We do get the odd tricky one, of course.
Oh, naturally.
Yes. Yes, you know, only last week the big white chief came in to see me. He landed me with a real beauty. Apparently, there's this... Sorry, old man, talking shop again. Hardly part of a Christmas visit. I'll drop it.
Thanks.
Still, it's just talk, isn't it?
Well, it's none of my business.
Right, nice. You're out of it now. Do you think I could have another?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, cheers. What a nice place you've got here.
Oh, it suits me.
Books. You know, I wouldn't have said you were a great reader. Funny. You know, you work with someone for years, you think you know them, how they live, but you don't. At least not everything.
Thank God.
No, I mean, it's like this job the old man's given me. One of our agents, reliable, working exclusively for us, or so we thought, You know, he's been selling our secrets on the open market for the last 15 years.
15 years?
Oh.
Bit slow, aren't you?
Well, as it was, we only found out by chance. We were checking on a suspect, nothing to do with his business, and we came across this bank account in the Channel Islands in the name of Peterson, and it showed an amazing movement of very large sums of money. Didn't sort of feel right, so we got a bit nosy.
Oh, but
anyway, we checked and found that Peterson was an alias for our so-called reliable agent. And further discreet inquiries confirmed the situation.
A double agent. Well, it's happened before.
Yes. Still, it's a tricky business.
Yes, well, the department should be able to handle it easily enough.
Not that easy, old man. You see, only a few people know. The great white chief himself, myself, and a couple of people right at the top.
So you have to be careful.
Right, yes. If it got out to the rank and file, I mean... See, he's a senior man. It's a question of internal morale.
I can't see the problem.
And that's why we're putting this out to freelance.
Oh, really?
It's discretion, you see. A decision has been made at the top that the problem has to be eliminated outside the department, and the job must not be traced back to British intelligence.
The usual dirty money stuff?
Right, yes. Payment in use notes. 200,000 of them, plus expenses.
Expensive job.
Oh, on this one, it's worth it. Whoever takes the job has to complete by Wednesday.
Wednesday? That's only 5 days away.
Yeah, it is a bit tight.
Yeah, well, it's damn near impossible.
You think so?
No, look, with that deadline, an important target, well, you'd never get anyone to do it.
Yes. A pity you've retired. This sort of operation's right up your street.
Yes, but I have retired.
Yes. So, here I am with 200,000 to give away. And the only man who's good enough to earn it can't take the job.
Who's the target?
Oh, you're interested.
No, I just wondered if it was anyone I knew.
Oh, come on, old man. I can hardly disclose that.
I just wondered. I mean, that price makes it nearly cabinet level.
Way off the beam, old man.
Oh, well, it's not important. I'm not even guessing.
Charles Allweather.
What?
The target is Charles Allweather, deputy head of MI7. Yes, well, you see the problem. It's 200,000 plus expenses.
Well, I'm not interested.
200,000 for just one job. What are you earning now? I mean, you're out of work.
Now, look, Clark, I've had my belly full of killing.
You're the only one who can do it, and you know it. Look, I've got half the money here.
Now, get out, Clark. You come in here full of Christmas spirit, which I suspected was eyewash, and you're already trying to buy me back. Now, what the hell do you think you're playing?
It's not a question of buying you back, old man. It's just giving you something to think about. Call it an act of faith, if you like. There you are. It's all here. In this case, £100,000 in used notes.
Look, I don't want it, Clark. Take it with you.
You know, a man who get robbed at this time of night. I prefer to leave it here with you.
I said I'm not interested.
Well, think about it, old man. Give it a day. Give me a ring tomorrow. You know where to get me. Well, thanks for the drinks. I'll see myself out. Bye.
I'd gone soft since I'd left the department. 3 months ago, I'd have thrown Clark out after the first drink. Or maybe I wanted to hear about the job he had to offer me, just to reassure myself or something. Maybe that I was still considered the best killer in the business. £100,000 in used notes. I was just standing there, looking down at the case, when the bang could have been the motorbike backfiring, but I knew that it wasn't. Clark was lying beside his car, shot through the head. The street was empty. I should have phoned the police, or maybe the department. But with my record and £100,000 lying on the dining room table, they will believe I had nothing to do with Clark's murder. I had to get out of this. I searched through Clark's pockets and found his car keys. I dumped his body in the back, slid behind the wheel, and started the engine. That's when I heard them. That was all I needed. to be picked up by the police in possession of a dead body and driving that body's car. I had to get away fast, but not so fast. I get pinched for speeding. I took the car out of Edgware Road and into Oxford Street. Now, this had to be a put-up job. Someone had followed Clark to my place, shot him, and then phoned the police, leaving yours truly in the hot seat. Well, if I'd been a bit slower, the police would have found me bending over the dead body. The important thing now was to dispose of both Clark and the car. I'd weighted Clark's body before dropping it into the river. Now, the next problem was getting rid of the car. If it was a put-up job, it was a cert the police already had the registration number of the car and were looking for it.
We got a visitor, Joe.
Hi, Joe. Hi, Ben.
Hello, Mr. Gordo. Long time no see. No trouble with a new car, I hope.
Afraid so.
Sounds all right to me.
Oh, it goes all right. But it's hot. It needs a respray and a change of registration.
Well. Rumour was that you'd given up the old job.
Well, the rumour was right. This is just, well, it's something left over.
Yeah. What colour and registration do you want?
Well, I'll leave that to you. You can have the car in exchange for the lift.
Where to? South America?
No, Hampstead. Lewis's boutique.
No problem. Bit late to go shopping, though, isn't it? What's the jam jar?
Very hot.
Right, Ben. You better take Mr. Gordo to Hampstead. I'll get the spray operator set up in number 4 shop and get started.
Go on, Mr. Gordo.
Right.
We'll take the jag.
Art! Hello.
Hello, Louise. Have you got company?
No, the coast's clear. Come on up to the flat.
Thanks. How's business?
The usual for this time of year. Everyone rushing in for last-minute Christmas presents. Do you fancy anything to drink?
Have you got any whiskey?
You left a bottle here last week. I don't drink it that fast. I'll find a space and sit down. To what do I owe the pleasure of this call?
I might want an alibi for this evening.
Oh, I could tell by your expression it wasn't social. Here. Cheers.
Cheers.
What's up?
A face from the past.
Can you tell me?
Well, the old job...
But you finished with that. What did they want?
Well, at the moment, it's best if I say nothing. That way, you're not involved. Just so long as you remember, I called on you about 8 and stayed all evening.
Sure. What did we do all evening, if I'm asked?
Well, let's hope they're gentlemen, and they don't ask.
If it's your old crowd, they won't be gentlemen.
Oh, thanks. Look, tell them I spent the evening trying to seduce you, but you kept me at bay.
Oh, was I successful?
I hope not.
What time did you leave?
Let's see. It's 11 now, but just after 11.
Oh, this is a real flying visit. First time in a week you call, and now you're off again. I've a good mind to tell you to get your alibi somewhere else.
Well, how does just after midnight sound?
Better. Much better.
When I got back to my flat, it was 2 a.m. I paid off the taxi and walked into the entrance hall. There were 2 of them waiting for me. By the look of them, they must have been waiting for a long time. They looked cold, tired, and ready to take it out on somebody.
Mr. Gordo.
Yes?
Do you mind if we have a few words with you? In private.
What about?
There was an accident here earlier this evening.
Oh, really?
We've seen everyone else in this block except yourself. We'd just like to ask you a few questions.
What sort of accident? Was anyone hurt?
We don't know. That's what we're hoping you'll help us find out.
Well, far away.
Possibly if we could talk it over somewhere more comfortable, it might be easier. Your flat?
I looked from one to the other. I'd seen eyes like that before, in my shaving mirror. Oh, it'd be no use trying to stall them by asking to see their search warrants. These characters printed their own. And if I refused to take them up to my flat, they'd just take me up there and use my head to push the door in. Then they'd find £100,000 in used notes. To a policeman, that's suspicious. To MI7, who knew me, Oh, there will be 100,000 reasons for locking me up and throwing away the key. But I had to keep them from entering my flat, somehow.
Well, Mr. Gordo, we haven't got all night.
Well, just give me a few minutes to get the flat tidy. It's in a bit of a state at the moment.
Don't worry about that. I'm a bachelor myself.
Yeah, my place is really in a mess. You see, I had a bit of a party last night.
Somebody up there we shouldn't see?
No, not at all. Come on, this way. I led the way up the stairs, listening to the sounds of their feet, judging their positions. As I reached the top of the first flight of stairs, I swung round sharply and kicked out. Oh! My foot caught the first man in the stub and he fell back on his companion. The other man was clawing for his gun, but he wasn't fast enough. They fell to the bottom of the stairs in a tangled heap. Before they could sort themselves out, I was past them and running to the entrance, when suddenly...
Hold it right there, Gordo.
I stopped. You don't argue with a man with a gun. And the man with the gun was the deputy head of MI7, Charles Allweather.
Are you sure he's tied up nice and tight, Roberts?
Like a chicken, sir.
We don't want him trying any more funny business.
No chance, sir.
Good. Keep an eye on the door, Ferguson. I don't want any interruptions.
Yes, sir.
Sorry we have to do it this way, Mr. Gordo. Commandeering your flat like this. But you didn't leave us any option.
Get stuffed.
I'm disappointed in you. We're old colleagues. Just wanted a friendly chat. Ask a few questions.
Come on, for God's sake, let me loose and get out of my flat.
When you've answered the questions. I see you've done well for yourself since you left the department.
Yeah, I manage.
Where did this money come from, Gordo?
A friend left it with me to look after.
You've got some trusting friends. Was Clark one of them?
Clark?
From the department. Remember? You worked with him.
So? Why should he want anything from me?
That's what I want to find out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No?
No.
We had a tip-off. Clark was here tonight.
Well, tip-offs aren't always right.
It was a phone call to my office. I took the call myself.
You shouldn't believe everything you hear.
Said Clark was seen coming into these flats. Why was he here, do you think? Must have been visiting someone.
Search me.
We've checked everyone else in the block. They're clear. Just leaves you.
Now, what have I told you? I hadn't seen Clark since I left the department.
I wouldn't believe it.
I spent the evening with a woman friend. You can check it. Pick up that phone and ring her.
The tip-off also reported a shooting outside these flats.
Oh, really? Well, there's a lot of it about.
Nasty business. There's a lot of blood out there on the pavement. But no sign of a body. It's disappeared.
So I have to be involved because I used to work for the department?
Give me a better reason.
Look, I told you, I wasn't here. I spent the evening with a friend. Go ahead, go on, we'll check it out.
I don't have to. You've had time to fix an alibi.
Oh, well, if you don't believe me.
I tell you what I believe, Gordo. I believe Clark is dead. I believe that's his blood out there on the pavement. And I believe you might have killed him.
No.
I said might have killed him. I certainly believe Clark came here tonight to buy your services with this money.
What services?
As a killer.
Oh, Weather. I quit killing when I left the department.
No one quits. The word is that you've gone freelance.
Well, that's not true.
There's £100,000 here in this suitcase. By tradition, a freelance gets 50% in advance. Who's worth 200,000?
You've got it wrong, or whether I'm not freelance.
200,000, Gordo. This isn't just some man-in-the-street job. Clark wouldn't be able to pay that kind of money. Not for his own personal vendettas.
It's not Clark's money, I told you.
But it's not department money. I'd know about that. So, where do you think he got it?
I said I'm looking after it for a friend.
So if it's not department money, I reckon it must have come from his other employers. Agree?
I don't know what you're talking about.
His other employers, Gordo, the other side.
Look, I'm sorry, but you've lost me.
Clark was a double agent. He's been playing both ends against the middle for years. Now, I want some answers. Who was Clark working for? Who have they hired you to kill?
No one's hired me to kill anyone.
Look, Gordo, we've known one another a long time. We've worked together. We've always been on the same side of the fence. I hope we still are.
Yeah, it looks like it. With me tied to this chair.
Well, what else could we do after the way you jumped Roberts here? Look, I'm not after you. Not you personally. You've retired. But you and I both know that no one gives us a tip-off unless there's something in it. Okay, I don't think you're involved, but Clark was. Now, all I want to know is what Clark said to you this evening.
And I can't tell you because he wasn't here.
Listen, Gordo, I want information from you, and I know you've got it. You're not in the department anymore, so if you get roughed up in the process, who's going to complain? You'll just be someone resisting arrest.
On what charge?
There doesn't have to be one, you know that. I just invoked the Official Secrets Act. Now, what happened to Clark?
How do I know?
Oh, dear. Roberts?
Ow.
We couldn't make it a lot nastier for you, Gordo. You know that.
You're up the wrong tree, Allweather.
Oh, dear. Roberts? You're being very stupid, Gordo. Or are you? I wonder. Maybe you're working for the other side, like Clark.
Now, what the...
Yes, it adds up. After all, Clark still worked for the department. Could be the other side didn't trust him, he knew too much, so you were brought in to kill him.
You're out of your mind.
Am I?
You can't prove anything.
I can make it stick if I have to. Face it, Gordo. I've got you always. Fact. My tip-off saw Clark come here tonight. He was carrying a suitcase. This suitcase. Fact. My tip-off saw the shooting. He saw the car registration number, Clark's car. Gordo, I know you saw Clark tonight. And because I know that, I'll take the woman who's giving you your fake alibi and break her in 5 minutes. Now.
All right. Clark was here tonight.
Ah. Now you're being sensible.
And he did offer me a freelance job. But I refused it.
Now what's the money for?
He left it for me to think it over.
Oh, come off it, Gordo. No one leaves 100,000 quid for someone to think about.
But Clark did.
And who is the intended victim?
We didn't get that far in the discussion.
Gordo, don't take me for a fool. Either you tell me now, or I get the heavy mob to drag it out of you.
Oh, you've got it all tied up, haven't you, Allweather?
Of course. I'm the law. You know, my guess is that Clark hired you to kill me.
Well, why should he want you dead?
Let's say I had another tip-off.
Oh, if you knew so much, well, why go through all this circus?
I am right. I was the target.
Yes.
Good. I like to have my information confirmed. I'm glad to see you don't go in for false heroics. It's not worth it.
I never did when I'm not involved.
You're involved, Gordo, to the tune of 200,000.
I told you I turned it down.
Where's Clark now?
The bottom of the Thames, near Limehouse.
Why did you kill him?
I didn't. And I didn't see you did, and that's the truth.
Was he alive when you got to him?
But nobody stays alive long with a bullet between the eyes.
Why did Clark say he wanted me killed?
He didn't give a name. Just said he was acting as a courier for an unnamed client.
Why do they want me disposed of?
I don't know. I wasn't taking the job, so I didn't ask.
So, you know, it would be safer for me to have you killed now. I still don't believe you haven't gone freelance.
Well, even if I had, I'd be a fool to kill you after this.
I don't underestimate you. Clark was only the errand boy. The people who sent you this money are still around. They'll want value for their money. I intend to check out a few things on friend Clark, and that's going to take time. Now, if I let you go free and leave you with this money, I could be signing my own death warrant.
What are you going to do, You can't keep me tied up here indefinitely.
No. I'll just leave my men here with you for, let's say a week or so. To see you don't step out of line.
Well, why only a week?
No, that'll be enough. By then we ought to know something. Oh, and I'll take charge of this money. Roberts?
Yes, sir?
I'm going back to the office now, but I want you and Ferguson to stay with Gordo here for a few days. If he gives you any trouble, you know how to handle him.
Yes, sir.
And if he gets away, I'll bust the pair of you. Any questions?
I don't think so, sir.
Right, I'll keep in touch. And you remember, Gordo, be sensible.
Just make sure you do. Should we untie him? No, let him sweat for a bit. I haven't forgiven him for that kick in the guts.
Oh, you're going to even up the score now I'm tied up.
You bet your sweet life I am.
Let him be. We've got a week to take care of him in.
It had been a long time since I'd been in a situation like this, and my memories didn't help me at all. One thing for sure, I wasn't in for a week of dazzling conversation.
Are you expecting anyone?
No.
Wonder who it is.
What? If you open the door, you'll find out.
Watch it.
You better answer it. It might be one of my accomplices.
Watch him, Ferguson. I'll see who it is.
Right. Now keep quiet, Gordo, or I'll kick your teeth in.
All right, I'm coming. Look out, Ferguson!
What the?
That was part one of Downpayment on Death, a thriller serial for radio adapted by Jim Eldridge from his own novel, and featuring Dinsdale Landon as Art Gordo. Clark was played by Manning Wilson, Louise Lenehan by Francis Jeter, Ben and Roberts by John Croft, Joe and Ferguson by Peter Craze, and Charles Allweather by Glyn Owen. The program was produced by John Fawcett Wilson. We present Downpayment on Death. A thriller in 5 parts. Adapted from his own novel by Jim Eldridge. With Dinsdale Landon as Art Gordo. Part 2, The Double Target.
Are you expecting anyone?
No. No.
Wonder who it is.
What? If you open the door, you'll find out.
Watch it.
You better answer it. It might be one of my accomplices.
Watch him, Ferguson. I'll see who it is.
Right. Now keep quiet, Gordo, or I'll kick your teeth in.
All right, I'm coming. Look out, Ferguson!
What the?
I sat there, tied up and helpless. Ferguson lay in the living room doorway. He looked very dead. I couldn't see Roberts, but I guessed he was the same. I was a sitting target for the gunman. That was the front door. Had he gone? Or was he still in the flat? I waited. No sound, nothing. I began to work at the ropes that tied my wrists to the chair. After what seemed like an age, I got my hands free. Ferguson's gun was lying on the floor. I might need it. Now, the first thing was to check the flat. But nothing disturbed. Everything where it should be. Well, except for those 2 bodies on the carpet. I didn't understand it. Why shoot the MI7 men and leave me? Whatever it was, someone was looking after Art Gordo. Another thing for sure. My flat was not the place to be right now.
Double 391.
Louise, it's Art.
Oh, do you know what time it is?
Now, look, can you pick me up?
What? Right now?
Yes.
Where are you?
I'm at Shepherd's Bush. I'll start walking towards Notting Hill Gate.
Oh, all right. I'll have to get dressed first. Stay on the right-hand side of the road. I'll watch out for you.
I'll see you.
Here we are. You can relax. Drink?
Oh, thanks. Now, look, I think I'd better tell you.
You don't have to, you know.
No, I want to.
I'll get this down you first.
Cheers. Oh.
Is this anything to do with that visit you had earlier tonight?
Yes. The face from the past.
Oh.
He wanted me to do a freelance job for the department, or so he said.
But you've retired.
Yes. You know, I've never told you exactly what my government work was, have I, Louise?
It wasn't important.
I know, but you must have wondered.
Well, certainly not a 9-to-5 job.
Well, I was a professional assassin. I was paid to kill people.
I think I guessed.
Anyway, this chap, Clark, he gave me all the blah about being the best and how no one else could do this particular job. Well, when he walked out, he left a deposit of £100,000 and the suggestion that I think about it.
And what did you decide?
What the hell do you think I decided?
Sorry.
No, don't be. I didn't mean to snap. I told him I didn't want the job.
So?
Well, as he was leaving the flat, someone shot him out in the street.
Good God!
I only got away just before the police arrived.
Was that why you wanted me to give you an alibi for this evening?
Right. Only when I got back to my flat, things started to go wrong.
Well, what happened?
Now, look, Louise, do you mind if we leave it there?
Well, if you'd rather.
Well, I think so. The less you know about this, the better.
But if there's anything I can do to help...
No, it's my problem. I'll get it sorted out.
Well, if you're sure. Anyhow, how about another drink?
Oh, yes, please. Oh, I'll make it a large one.
Anything you say, sir. 3391. Who? It's for you.
What? Well, who the hell?
What should I say?
I'm not here. Tell them you don't know me. Anything.
Are you sure you have the right number? He knows you're here, Art. You'd better talk to him.
Okay. Hello?
Mr. Gordo.
Speaking.
I've got a message for you.
Go on.
My boss says you've had half the money. He expects the job to be completed by Wednesday, as arranged.
You can tell your boss to get stuffed. I'm not taking the job.
Not very wise, Mr. Gordo. I'd have another think about that if I was you.
I don't need to. I'm not doing it.
The boss won't like to hear that.
Who are you?
Maybe you'll find out one of these days.
Oh, damn. Now, how did they trace me here?
Not a friend, judging by the look on your face.
No. You know, they must have tailed me from the flat.
Well, who was it?
Louise. Even if I knew, I wouldn't tell you.
Why not?
I said I don't want you involved. You're better out of it.
But, Art, I am involved. These people, whoever they are, they know you're here with me. I think I've got a right to know what this is all about.
You don't understand.
Art, when you worked for that department, I'd no idea what you did until just now. I mean, I knew it was government work, but you never talked about your job. Fair enough. I never asked any questions.
It was part of the deal.
Right, and I accepted it. It didn't matter anyway, just so long as you left your job outside when you came through that door.
So let's keep it that way.
But don't you see, Art, this time it's different. Well, God knows what you're mixed up in, but whatever it is, well, this time it's followed you here into my flat. I think you ought to tell me what it's about. Please, Art. You've got to trust me.
Okay. I don't like it, but perhaps you're right.
Thanks.
Well, that job I was telling you about, the one Clark wanted me to do, it was to kill a man called Charles Allweather.
But you said you weren't going to do it.
I'm not. I'm finished with killing.
Well, who is this Allweather? Can you tell me?
Well, I don't see why not. He's the deputy head at MI7.
So you mean this Clark man from your old department wanted you to kill one of its top men?
Yes.
Well, it all sounds very strange to me.
Well, that's only half of it. You see, it's very likely that Clark was a double agent. Oh, you know, I mean, working for the other side. And it's possible they were paying for the job.
But that's terrible.
Well, it happens.
Oh, thank God you finished with all that now. But just one thing I don't understand, Art. You said no to that job Clark wanted you to do.
That's right.
Well, surely that's the end of it, isn't it?
It should have been, but it wasn't. You see, when I got back to my flat earlier tonight, Allweather was there, waiting for me with a couple of his men.
Do you think he knew what you'd been asked to do?
Well, not at first he didn't.
Why? What happened?
Well, they asked me a few questions, bounced me around the room a bit until they got the answers.
Oh, don't.
But MI7 don't like people who leave because they're sick of the job. It's setting the side down. They prefer you to get killed.
But I don't understand. Why did this Allweather let you go?
He didn't. That's the peculiar part of it. After he left the flat, someone shot the two MI7 men guarding me.
What?
That's what happened.
Well, who was it?
I didn't see him. He just vanished.
I just can't take this in.
Yes, and now this damn phone call. Louise, I've got to get away from here. Now, can I borrow your car for a couple of hours?
Would you want me to drive you?
No, I
somewhere?
just want your car to pick up another one. I'll get it sent back to
Oh,
you.
don't be silly. I'll drive
No.
you. But you're in trouble. I only want to help.
Look, you've helped enough already. You've been great. But I don't want you sticking your neck out anymore. I mean, these people are dangerous.
All right, but promise me you'll take care of yourself, Art.
I've been well trained. Now, can I have your car keys?
Here.
Thanks. And look after yourself, Louise. It was still dark when I left Louise's, but not so dark I couldn't be seen. Someone had followed me to her place, so they could still be looking out for me. There was no one around, but I wasn't taking any chances. I put my hand in my pocket and gripped Ferguson's gun. It felt safer. I started to walk over to Louise's car. I hadn't liked the sound of that phone call. In fact, I didn't like the way I'd been pulled into the whole affair. And this time I was on my own. No department to back me up. What was that? I thought I heard something. Imagination. It plays tricks when you're tired. And it had been a long, hard night. I got to the car. I unlocked the door and...
Art, are you all right? What happened?
Someone was waiting for me.
Oh, who was it? Did you see?
I didn't get the chance.
Come on back to the flat. I'll patch you up.
I'll be all right. I'm just a bit shaky.
You're coming back. You need some attention to those cuts. Come on. I'll give you a hand.
Oh, no, careful with that plaster. It's tender.
I've nearly finished. There. How's that?
Better. Thanks, Louise. Now I'll be going now.
Are you sure you're all right to drive?
You're not driving me, I've told you.
3391. It's him.
I'll give it to me. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Gordo.
What do you want?
Sorry to hear about your little accident.
Now listen, if I catch up with you...
Girlfriend taking good care of you, is she?
Well, I'm all right.
Sure you are, Mr. Gordo. That was just a taster. A warning. Remember, you've had half the money. If you don't do what my boss wants, the next time will be for real.
Well?
Well, I know who to thank for the bruises. Louise, you've got to get away.
What?
You've got to get away from here as soon as you can.
What about the shop?
To hell with the shop.
It's because of this attack, isn't
Well,
it?
of course it is. I'm worried about you.
Art, they have got no reason to hurt me.
Maybe not, but they know where you live. Now, they know that I've been here. You're involved with me. Now, that's reason enough.
No, Art. Okay. So I'll have someone here to stay with me, but I'm not leaving.
How can you be so stupid?
No, really, I'll be all right.
I don't want anything to happen to you, Louise.
Then make sure you stay alive for me.
Well, I'd better be going.
Must you?
Yes. Now, remember, take good care of yourself. I'll keep in touch.
Bye, Art.
Louise was a fool. After what had happened and what I'd told her, I thought she'd have got the message and gone away for a few days. Well, she'd probably be all right, but I couldn't be certain. One thing for sure, these people weren't playing games. Hello, Joe.
What the... Oh, you scared the life out of me. It's 5 in the morning. How'd you sleep?
Well, no more than you do. You should keep the garage door locked.
I thought it was. Yeah. Looks like somebody's been using you to try out their brass knuckles. Or shouldn't I ask?
You shouldn't ask. Look, I need a car, Joe, a fast one.
How fast?
Fast enough to get me out of trouble.
And clean?
Right, and I don't want anyone stopping me.
Is it official business?
Private.
Okay. I've got one over here. We can settle later.
An hour later, I was well on my way to the West Country, to a cottage just outside Bath. Paul and Sally Leclerc went to live there when Paul decided to drop out of the London rat race. I'd always felt bad about using him, but, well, they were good friends. But they put me up before with no questions asked, and I hope they do the same this time. And Somerset, well, seemed an unlikely place for anyone to look for me.
Good grief, Art. Long time no see. What brings you down here?
A desire to smell the country air.
Well, do you want to stand there smelling it or come in?
Thanks.
You look like you've had a rough time. I thought you gave up your job to avoid that.
I did. The trouble is, some people don't really believe I've retired.
You should move to the country. That'd convince them. Something like this. I wouldn't go back to living in London.
Oh, you really like it here, don't you, Paul?
There's nowhere else. When was the last time you woke to birds singing?
They don't sing in London, they cough.
Exactly. Take my tip, Art. Move.
Well, I'll think about it. Where's Sally?
Oh, she's staying with her mother in Bristol for a couple of days. The old girl's not been feeling too good. She hasn't been too bright since Sally's father died.
When was that?
Oh, a couple of months ago. Anyway, we can talk later. Right now, you look out on your feet. You know where the bedroom is, don't you? The bed's already made. I'll fix you something to eat when you wake.
Hi.
Up already? You look a lot better.
I feel it. Ooh, that smells good.
Bacon and eggs coming up. Sit down. There.
It was the first meal I'd had in a long time. Paul was a good bloke. He pottered around the kitchen, leaving me alone. He knew I needed to think, and there was a lot to think about. This whole business had been set up very carefully. I suspected it earlier. Now I knew it, and I was right in the middle. Clark, or the people behind him, wanted me to kill Allweather. But now, why me? 200,000 would buy any one of a dozen top killers to a job like this. So why me? I mean, to kill Allweather? Allweather. Yes. He is the key to this case.
Specials.
Charles Allweather, please.
Who's calling?
Art Gordo.
One moment.
Where are you, Gordo?
Australia.
Don't get funny with me.
Look, have you dragged Clark's body out of the Thames yet?
Yes.
Well, I've got a feeling it was the same gun both times. Now, did you check the bullet in him with the bullets in your two men?
Why?
Well, somebody wants you killed, and I think they're using me as a scapegoat.
So?
I want to meet you, and meet you soon. Just you and me, none of your bodyguards. And after the meeting, I want to go away with no one tailing me. No helicopters, nothing. Okay?
How do I know it's not a trap?
You don't. You just have to trust me.
I wouldn't trust you as far as I could spit.
Look, dead men don't spit.
All right, Gordo. Where?
Now, come out of London on the 8:30. I'll be waiting for you just beyond Newbury, right? Now, can you make it around 3 this afternoon?
I think so.
Good. I'll see you.
It's a better not be a trick, Gordo. You have no hope in hell of getting away with it, if it is.
It's no trick. My life's as much at stake as yours in this one.
I'll be there.
Thanks for the use of the phone, Paul.
Everything okay?
Yes, more or less. Look, Paul, I've got to go and meet someone.
Will you be back?
Yeah, I don't know when.
Don't worry. I'll see you when I see you.
As I said, that was the great thing about Paul. No questions. Allweather was right on time. I flagged him down into a lay-by. He pulled up 10 yards from me. He wasn't taking any chances.
Keep your hands on the wheel where I can see them, Gordo. I've got a gun in my pocket. Any tricks and I'll blow a hole in your gut.
You don't trust me?
Would you?
No. Well, can I put my hands down now? I'll get cramp if I have to sit like this.
Okay, but slowly. Right. Why did you want us to meet?
Look, I told you. I'm as much the target in this as you are, Allweather.
You've got proof of that?
No, but my stomach tells me that's the way it is.
Oh, sounds like an ulcer.
Oh, it's a pity about your two men.
How did you kill them?
I didn't. And you know it. Tied up the way I was when you left, I couldn't even wipe my nose.
Who did that?
I don't know. I never saw him. I heard the shots, then whoever it was vanished.
Do me a favor, Gordo.
For what it's worth, it's my guess he also killed Clark. And I think you know more about all this than you're letting on.
Why?
What happens Wednesday,
Why should anything happen Wednesday?
Because those people want you dead by then.
So ask them.
I will.
You've been in touch with them?
No. They've contacted me.
How?
They rang at a friend's place. As far as they're concerned, I've got half the money and they want the job carried out.
Who's the friend?
Her name's Louise Lenehan. She runs a boutique in Hampstead. I'm only telling you that because I think she'll need protection.
How long has she been working with you?
She's not involved.
When the chips are down, everyone's involved. You know that.
Now, you still haven't told me what happens Wednesday.
Nothing.
Now, look, Allweather, my life...
I'm a government employee, Gordo. The day you handed in your ticket, you became an unauthorized person. You're getting no government information from me.
Yeah, but something is...
Look, I don't have to tell you anything. You're on your own.
If you don't tell me, we'll both be dead.
And you reckon you can stop it on your own? Who do you think you are, Gordo? This is an organization.
Look, hold it.
What?
A black saloon car just pulled in over there.
Hands on the wheel.
What?
Hands on the wheel. I was wrong to trust you.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same about you.
Who is it?
You mean you don't know?
This has nothing to do with me, Gordo.
No?
No.
Well, whoever it is, they're keeping out of sight.
And you said no tricks?
I told no one about this meeting. Maybe you'd better go over and find out who it is.
And get shot halfway?
We can't just sit here.
No. You go.
Why? So I can get killed?
You've got a choice. Take your chance out there, or I'll shoot you.
I'm glad we're on the same side, Allweather.
So am I. Out.
What's going on here?
Who the hell are you?
CID. Let's see your driving license.
Look, officer.
I told you we shouldn't have parked here, Bert. Someone was bound to see us. Now my husband will find out.
Look, officer.
Driving license.
Here. Honestly, we haven't done anything.
Yes, so that looks in order.
Well, it is.
Well, I suggest you move on.
We will.
Oh, this is the first time...
Yes, I'm sure it is. Thank you.
Well?
A courting couple.
Sure?
Well, they look real enough.
Well, if you've taken everything at face value, I'm surprised you're still alive.
Now, look, let's stop playing around, Allweather. We could both be the target for these people. Now, together, maybe we've got a chance of staying alive.
But if you knew they weren't after you, you'd let them kill me.
Right.
You should never have left the department.
Look, what have you found on Clark?
Nothing. That line of inquiry isn't going to give us anything. Not in the time we've got.
Then what do you suggest?
What arrangements have been made for paying you the balance of the money?
None. I'll wait for them to get in touch, I suppose.
We might have some luck there. If they contact you, tell them you want more substantial proof that you'll be paid the rest of the money. With a bit of luck, it might flush them into the open.
Look, it's too big an if. They may not contact me till Wednesday.
It's worth a try.
Okay. Oh, and talking of money, where's the £100,000 they paid me,
I thought you said you weren't taking the job.
I'm not. I just want to know where it is.
It's been paid to the Treasury.
Oh, yes. Have you got a receipt?
If I say that money's been handed in, it's been handed in, right?
You know, Allweather, our trouble is we don't trust one another.
Too right. And don't let either of us forget it. I still think it'd be a good idea if one of my people kept a careful eye on you.
No dice, Allweather. That would give the whole game away. Now, these people are no amateurs. For all we know, they might be watching us right now.
Yeah, that's possible. How do you plan to explain it if they have seen us together and they ask you about it?
Oh, I'll think of something. I'll tell them I'm ingratiating myself with you prior to killing you.
Very clever, so long as it remains a cover story.
I've told you I quit.
Okay, let's leave it there. If anything urgent turns up, get in touch right away. If I'm not there, ask for Vic Parsons. He'll be able to deal with anything you need. One last thing, Gordo. In my book, once a killer, always a killer. Don't try to double-cross me.
I waited until Allweather was out of sight, and then I started up. The next move was to head back to Bath, to Paul's place. I'd gone about 2 miles when I noticed a pale blue car in my driving mirror. It had been there for some time. Allweather's people? I wouldn't put it past him. Or was my mysterious hirer keeping an eye on his investment? I pulled into the side of the road and took up my gun. The blue car slowed down, then raced past. The driver was well hidden behind dark glasses, with his coat collar turned up. He'd only needed a false nose and beard to complete the picture. I turned my car round and doubled back the way I'd come until I found a farm track hidden from the road by a clump of bushes. I pulled in and settled down to wait. I didn't have to wait long. Within 2 minutes, the blue car came hurtling past, hot on my trail. I hit the accelerator and went after it. The driver of the blue car saw me and nearly took off. The car in front must have been doing nearly 90 miles an hour. That man was some driver, but I was closing in on him. And then I saw the other man, leaning out of the rear window, and he was holding a gun. I heard the sound as the bullet ricocheted off the car. The near side headlight shattered. The gunman was a pro. He knew what he was doing.
That was part 2 of Downpayment on Death, a thriller serial for radio adapted by Jim Eldridge from his own novel and featuring Dinsdale Landon as Art Gordo. Louise was played by Francis Jeter, Charles Allweather by Glyn Owen, Paul Leclerc by Donald G., Roberts and Man on Phone by John Croft, Ferguson and Joe by Peter Craze, and we present Downpayment on Death. A thriller in 5 parts. Adapted from his own novel by Jim Eldridge. With Dinsdale Landon as Art Gordo. Part 3, A Life for a Life.
The car in front must have been doing nearly 90 miles an hour. That man was some driver, but I was closing in on him. And then I saw the other man, leaning out of the rear window, and he was holding a gun. I heard the sound as the bullet ricocheted off the car. The near side headlight shattered. The gunman was a pro. He knew what he was doing. It had been a bad dream. I tried to ride a bucking bronco, but I fell off, and the horse had walked all over me. The trouble was that when I woke up, the pain didn't go away. But I checked, very carefully, that everything was where it ought to be, like arms and legs. I was surprised. Apart from the pain and cut on my forehead, everything was fine. Well, relatively speaking. I've been very lucky. The car had skidded off the road into a thick hedge that had cushioned the impact of the crash. And the car wasn't in bad nick. A bit out of shape, and that last bullet had ripped the front tire to shreds. But it was drivable, well, once I changed the wheel. But not for a minute or so. I was still feeling a bit groggy, and I wanted to think. Well, I'd been in 1 or 2 sticky situations when I worked for the British Secret Service. A professional killer doesn't have a comfortable life. Well, that's why I left the department, because I was sick of what I had to do. And now this. I'd said no to that contract to kill Charles Allweather before Wednesday. Well, he was the deputy head of MI7. And believe it or not, I've managed to hang on to some values. But it seemed that the people who wanted him dead weren't taking no for an answer. It must have been them in that car, keeping an eye on their investment. And that gunman was good. I mean, he was shooting to stop me, not to kill. I was getting too close, and they wanted to remain anonymous. Well, we'd have to see how it worked out. Well, I'd think of something. So, I took off my jacket and set to work on changing the tyre.
Double 391.
Louise, this is Art.
Oh, thank God.
What's the matter?
I was hoping you'd ring. I didn't know where to contact you.
Oh, sorry. I've had a busy afternoon. Anyway, I said I'd keep in touch.
Art, there's been another phone call.
I thought there might be. Was it the man who rang before?
I don't think so. This one was older.
Well, didn't give a name, I suppose.
I didn't ask.
Oh, it doesn't matter. What was it this time?
Oh, I hope I've got it right. He said you had a chance to finish the all-weather job this afternoon and you didn't take it. Does that make sense to you, Art?
Yes. I met Charles Allweather this afternoon.
Oh. Anyway, he said to tell you he was very disappointed.
Yeah, I'm sure. Anything else?
Yes. He's changing the instructions.
Really?
Apparently you don't have till Wednesday. He wants the assignment completed before midnight tomorrow.
Oh, he's good at dishing out orders, isn't he? Anyway, was that the lot?
Well...
Well, yeah? Well, come on, what is it?
I don't know if I ought to tell you, Art. You've got enough problems.
Try me.
Well, it was the last thing, just before he rang off. He asked me to persuade you to do the job, and then he said, I can remember the words, its completion is of vital importance to Mr. Gordo's well-being, and also to yours, Miss Lenihan.
He actually used your name?
Yes. No, it didn't really register at the time, but since... Well, it's been worrying me, Art. You can imagine.
Yes, well, just don't let it.
Oh, that's easy to say.
I know, but you mustn't.
But, Art, you've told me yourself they've already killed 3 people.
Yes.
Art, are you still there?
Yes. I'm thinking. Louise, did that man, the caller, did he say how I could get in touch with him?
He said he'd phone me later.
Right. Now, when he does, tell him that I've changed my mind. Tell him that I'll do the job.
But you told me that...
Now, just listen. If he's changing the rules, so am I. Now, tell him 2 conditions. I want the other 100,000 in advance, and I want him to deliver it in person.
Why?
I've got to bring them out into the open. I must know who I'm up against.
Please.
Look, I know what I'm doing.
Okay. I'll tell him. How can I contact you?
Well, phone me at Bath 26699. But don't give anyone that number. Now, is that clear?
Right.
And don't worry, Louise. Everything's going to be all right. Trust me. Will you?
I don't have any choice, do I? Take care, Art.
Well, I hadn't convinced her. Well, come to that. I hadn't convinced myself. These people were smart. Always one step ahead of me. They knew that I'd met Allweather that afternoon. They probably guessed that I was playing for time. That had to be why they'd changed the deadline. I had a day and a few hours. Now, that didn't give me much time to play with. I had to get to Paul and Sally's place in case Louise rang. Hi, Paul.
Art, what's happened? You look terrible.
You ought to see the other fella.
Good God. Your car?
I hit a bus. Oh, nothing serious.
But how did it happen?
No questions, eh?
Well, you better come in before you fall over. I'd better get you to a doctor.
I'm all right. Is Sally back from her mother's?
Yes, she's in the kitchen. Go through and see her.
Oh, okay. Hello, Sally. Long time no see.
What's happened to you?
Oh, a bit of an accident. No problem.
Good.
How's your mother?
All right. She has these lapses since my father died.
What would you have to drink?
Oh, coffee will be fine.
Don't tell me you've gone on the wagon.
I'm in training for Lent. But why doesn't she come and stay with you?
Who?
Well, your mother.
Oh, she's happy where she is. Anyway, we all get old.
I'll get it. Hello, 26699. Yes, I'll hang on.
I'm sorry, Sally.
What for?
Well, I'm sorry I came. Well, I mean...
You were in trouble, so you came here.
Yes.
You always do.
Yes.
Pity.
Yes, I'll get him. It's for you, Art. Someone called Louise.
Oh, coming. Thanks, Paul. Hello?
Art, that man, he called. I gave him your message.
What did he say?
He'll give you the money tonight, here at my place.
Fine.
He didn't sound very pleased.
Oh, that's his bad luck. What time?
9 o'clock. Art, it's a lot of money. How can they get it so quickly?
No problem for that sort of organisation.
It might be a trick, you know.
There's only one way to find out. I'll be with you a few minutes before 9. Okay?
I'll see you then.
You will. Thanks, Louise.
Coffee's ready, Art.
Thanks.
Everything okay?
Yes, I hope you didn't mind me giving her your number. No, it won't mean trouble for you.
Can we have that in writing?
Oh, come on, Sally. What are friends for?
But you are in trouble, aren't you, Art?
Now, look,
I mean, that's why you're here, isn't
Look,
it?
Sally.
Ease off, will you? Oh, don't mind her, Art. She's upset, seeing her mother, you know.
Don't make excuses for me, Paul. Art only comes here when he's in trouble, you know that. Well, I don't like being used, that's all.
It's not like that.
Yes, it is. He's just using
Now, look,
us.
hold on, you two. I'm going back to London.
No, Art, you don't have to
I
go.
have to, really. That's what the phone call was about.
All right. When are you leaving?
Right now. I've got to get back there by 9 tonight.
Not possible. You'll never make it. Not with your car in that state.
No, I've got no choice.
Okay, Art. But if you have to go, take our car.
Paul!
No, we don't need it tonight, Sally. We're not going out.
Now, look, if it's difficult...
No, it isn't difficult. You take it.
Paul, I told Mother I'd go and see her on Monday.
You can bring it back tomorrow, can't you?
Yeah, well, sure. As soon as I can, in the morning, if you like.
Right. Well, while you're gone, I'll get a friend of mine to look at your car.
Thanks, Paul. I'm sorry, Sally.
Goodbye, Art.
I'll see you tomorrow. I hated leaving Paul and Sally like that. And Sally had been right. That made it worse. A man in my business doesn't have many friends. Well, not good friends like them. I'd make it up to them when I got out of this. If I got out. I made good time to London. And got to Hampstead just after about 8:30. Well, that suited me well enough. These people knew where Louise lived. It made sense to check before I went to the boutique. I stopped at the underground station and went into a phone booth.
Double 391.
It's Art. Any problems? Phone calls?
No.
Good. Are you on your own?
Yes, unless you count £100,000 as company.
What?
That's right, £100,000.
Well, when did it arrive?
About an hour and a half ago.
Who brought it?
I don't know. I just found it. Oh, you won't believe it, Art, but it was left in the shop.
Now, Louise, I'm not coming to your place. We'll meet somewhere outside.
Oh, why did they do it like this, Art? The meeting was arranged for 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I know. That's what worries me.
Well, what do you want me to do?
Now, look, we'll meet in the Plume of Feathers, the saloon bar, and bring the money with you.
Well, that makes me nervous.
No, don't be. I'll follow you from your place, just in case you're being tailed.
You're sure I'll be all right?
You can bet on it. I'll be on the lookout. Now, leave your place in 10 minutes from now. I drove into a side turning just opposite Louise's boutique, turned the lights off, and waited. After a couple of minutes or so, Louise left the boutique with a parcel under her arm. She got into a car. I gave her a few seconds. No one followed, so I moved off after her. Now, the pub was half empty. That was good. It gave me a chance to look around to see if there were any doubtful faces. But no one was interested in me. Or at least didn't seem to be. That's the trouble. You can never tell A good tale doesn't wear an identity label. He's part of the scenery. Louise was sitting at a corner table, well away from the bar. Well, at least we wouldn't be overheard.
I got you a scotch. That's all right.
Oh, that'll be fine. Thanks.
Do you think we were followed?
Well, I don't think so. I didn't see anyone.
I still can't understand why they didn't keep to the 9 o'clock arrangement.
Well, either they've got money to throw away, or they've got something unexpected up their sleeve to make sure that I earn it. Oh, by the way, I'd better take this parcel.
I'd rather you did.
Now, you said the parcel was just left on a counter.
That's right. 1 minute it wasn't there, the next it was. The shop was so crowded I didn't get a chance to see who put it there.
Well, what about your assistant?
They go at 6 on Saturdays.
Now, try to remember. Someone was carrying this parcel. They brought it into the shop. Now, you must have noticed that.
Believe it or not, at Christmas, everyone carries parcels when they're shopping.
No, I'm sorry. It's just that it was so risky. But anyone could have picked it up.
It had your name on it.
It's still risky to leave it like that.
What are you going to do now?
Well, they paid me for the job. They'd expect me to deliver at my end of the deal.
That's what I mean.
Louise, I don't want you to stay in your flat tonight.
Why?
I'd rather you didn't.
Is it because of the threats? Do you think they'll do something?
Nothing's going to happen to you. You did tell him that I was going to do the job.
Yes. But you're not, are you?
As far as they're concerned, I am. Oh, I'm probably being over-careful. But I'll feel a lot better if you're out of the way for a day or so.
You're serious about this, aren't you?
Listen, Louise. These people want Allweather dead, and they want me to kill him. I don't know why, but it must be important to them. I mean, they've paid me a lot of money. Now, I've not been very cooperative. They've leaned on me, but I've been dodging around a bit. Now, first, I said I didn't want to do the job, and now I'm going to do it. What would you think if you were them?
I wouldn't know what to believe.
Exactly. Now, all I've done is to buy some time. But they could be looking for a lever. You know, an extra something to encourage me to make sure that I do the job.
And you think I could be the lever?
Well, they know about us. I don't think they'll try anything. But it would be stupid to rule it out.
Well, what could they do?
I don't know. Anyway, I mean, it won't come to that. But what I'm saying is, don't let us give them the opportunity. You get away from the flat and hide yourself away somewhere for a day or two.
Well, what about the shop?
It's Sunday tomorrow. Go away tonight, come back and open up Monday. No problem. Or, better still, ring me at the flat. I'll let you know when it's okay to come back.
All right, Art, I'll do it.
Great.
I'll have to pack a few things. You think it's safe to go back to the flat?
Oh, I should think so. I'll come back with you.
Oh, thanks.
Well, come on, then. I tried to play it down as much as I could, but I didn't expect it to work. Louise knew me too well. Well, it was a good relationship. She knew that I was worried, and it was my fault that she got involved in the first place. But at least she was going. Well, it was one less problem for me.
Okay, Art. I've got everything I'll need.
Good.
Oh, I wish you were coming with me.
No, I better stay here in case they try to contact me.
Well, if you must.
Now, you be on your way. And don't forget, keep to the back streets till you get out of town.
I will.
Oh, and take my car, will you?
Why?
No questions, eh?
Well, you might need it.
I'll use yours. Now, come on.
You'll take good care of yourself.
You bet.
Promise?
Promise. I locked the door just to be on the safe side and went over to the window. I wouldn't be happy until I saw Louise get into that car and drive away. I heard the street door open.
Oh, damn.
3391.
That doesn't sound like the charming Miss Louise.
Try again.
Gordo?
Right, second time.
Good. I was hoping to speak to you, Mr. Gordo. You have the money?
Yes. I'm sorry you couldn't make the 9 o'clock meeting.
The money was more important, don't you think?
Maybe. But I was looking forward to seeing you, Mr.
Come, Mr. Gordo. You should know better.
Well, it was worth a try. Anyway, I'd like to know whose money I'm taking.
You got my message? Midnight tomorrow. The deadline.
A sense of humor as well. It's a bit tight.
You'll find a way, Mr. Gordo. You're a resourceful man. Oh, and there's just one more thing.
Yes?
To make sure everything goes smoothly, we've taken out a little insurance.
What sort of insurance?
You have some friends, I believe, live near Bath.
Well, what if I have?
The Leclercs, isn't it? You visited them earlier today.
Go on.
They're visiting me at this moment. Rather unwilling guests, I'm afraid, but charming couple.
You?
We have them, Gordo. Now, if you fail to kill Allweather by midnight tomorrow, your friends the Leclercs will be shot. And then we'll search you out and kill you. Good night, Mr. Gordo.
Well, wait a minute. Oh, damn. Yes? Who is it?
Louise, the door's locked.
Why have you come back?
I was getting in the car. I heard the phone ring.
Damn fool.
I wanted to help if I could. Still, if you're all right, I'll get out of your way.
Oh, I'm sorry, Louise. It's that phone call.
Well, who was it?
Who do you think? Louise, they got Paul and Sally. The people I was staying with at Bath.
Oh, that's impossible. How could they know you were there?
I don't know. This character's not bluffing, that's for sure.
He must be.
Well, we can soon find out. I've got their car. Anyway, they weren't going out tonight, and they should be at home. You didn't give their number to anyone?
No.
You sure?
Art, what do you take me for?
I'm sorry.
They must have followed you down there.
I swear I wasn't followed. I'm too careful.
But they chased you here.
Yes. Oh, there's no reply. Paul and Sally. Well, it never occurred to me.
You think they've got your friends?
Oh, that's for sure.
And you really think they'd do it? You know, shoot the Leclercs?
No question. That's the lever I was talking about. To make sure I don't fall down on the job.
But if you do, they'll kill you as well. Art, you're no use to anyone if you're dead. I want you alive.
What the hell am I going to do, Louise? Well, I've only got 24 hours left.
They're winning, aren't they?
Oh, always. But I must do something. I mean, I have to. The Leclercs are my friends. I mean, they're like you. They're involved because they tried to help me.
I thought professional killers couldn't afford that sort of conscience.
I'm not a professional killer. Not anymore.
Well, please be careful, Art. For me. Don't do anything stupid.
No, don't worry, Louise. I'll work something out. It'll be all right.
You still want me to go?
Yes, I do.
Art, please.
Goodbye, Louise.
Okay. When shall I phone you?
Early Monday morning. Just to make sure that the coast is clear.
Okay. Take care, Art.
And you. Bye, Louise. After she'd gone, I locked the door, checked the windows, and poured myself a large whiskey. I sat looking at it. Well, it's what professional killers are supposed to do. You're supposed to see all the answers in a glass. I thought of Paul and Sally. I had to save them. Or maybe Louise was right. Maybe I was developing a conscience, trying to make up for a lot of things. Maybe, for once, I wanted someone other than me to stay alive.
Which number are you calling?
Oh, specials. Charles Allweather. Art Gordo calling urgently.
One moment.
Yes?
It's Mae West. Come up and see me sometime.
Gordo?
Who else?
Are you drunk?
Come and join me as soon as you can. It's important. I'm at Louise's boutique, Hampstead.
What is all this?
I'll tell you when you get here. And come alone. Who is it?
Allweather. Hands in the air, Gordo. I'm back in. One false move and I'll shoot you.
Look, I'm on your side, remember?
Over by the wall. And stay there.
It's all right. There's no one out here.
Shut up.
That's the toilet.
Okay. You can put your hands down now.
Are you going to put that thing away?
I feel safer this way. Now, what's so urgent?
I've been paid the rest of the money. They left a parcel in this shop anonymously.
Did they?
They're also holding 2 friends of mine.
Who are they?
Now, you wouldn't know them. Paul Leclerc and his wife, Sally.
Don't tell me. Either you kill me or they get it.
Right.
They may be dead already. You've thought of that?
I don't think so.
Well, it's your problem, Gordo. Now, what's so important I have to come here?
We've got to bring these people out into the open, right?
Go on.
Now, look, I'll swear I wasn't tailed to the Leclerc's home.
But I did give Louise their telephone number in case of any messages. Now, she didn't give it to anyone, but the only way they could have traced the Leclercs was through that number. Agreed?
Did Louise have to contact you on that number?
Yes.
Well, it's simple. This phone's tapped.
Well, that's my guess.
And why the hell did you use it to call me? Now they know I'm here.
That is what I'm banking on.
You what?
And listen, I think it's a move they wouldn't expect, not from me. They'll want to find out what's going on.
I should have brought some men with me.
No. That would have kept them away. We want them out in the open. Now, if they know it's only you and me, they may show their hand.
Gordo, I don't think I like this game you're playing.
Let's face it, Allweather. We're both in this together.
Oh, no, we're not. You got yourself into this mess. It's your problem. You want to save your friends? Fine. You go ahead. You work it out. But you're on your own. I'm not putting my neck on your chopping block. I don't fancy sitting around here waiting for someone to...
Just hold on a minute. Hello?
Congratulations, Mr. Gordo. I said you were a resourceful man.
Thanks.
Now you persuaded Mr. Allweather to come to you. All that remains is for you to complete the job for which you have been paid.
You know he's here?
Of course, Mr. Gordo. We're keeping a very close eye on our investment. Understandable, don't you think?
The Leclercs. Are they all right?
Certainly. Your friends are being well looked after. And I shall release them when the job is done. Shall we allow, say, 10 minutes, Mr. Gordo?
Yeah, but you gave me till midnight tomorrow.
Circumstances change, don't they? You'll never have a better opportunity. Why wait? My men are close at hand, but I should be reluctant to ask them to do a job for which you have been well paid.
You don't trust me?
You've already allowed one opportunity to go by. We just want to be sure this time. Incidentally, after you've done the job, dispose of the body as you wish. But please return to the flat as soon as possible. You will, of course, be under surveillance.
Well, 10 minutes doesn't give me much time. I mean, it isn't very long.
But you're a professional. You have a fine reputation, Mr. Gordo. I'm afraid you underestimate your abilities.
I'd still like more time.
Well, I should inform you that if the job is not done in 10 minutes, the flat will be bombed, and then you'll both die. Perhaps that may help to concentrate your thoughts. 10 minutes, Mr. Gordo.
Well?
The man says I've got 10 minutes to kill you, or they bomb this flat.
I think I'm beginning to get the picture. And I don't like it.
No, take it easy. It's in my interest to keep you alive. Once you're dead, I'm dead. And we both know it.
No, we don't. That's just what you told me.
Now, look, it's a setup, Allweather. We've got to get out of here.
It's a setup, all right. But you organized it. You got me here tonight and set me up for a killing. That's right, isn't it? That's the deal you have with them.
No, look, no.
You've been stringing me along all the time.
You're off your rocker.
Now, hands in the air, Gordon, and keep them there.
Now, look.
I have an idea. I can get us out of this.
It won't be as good as mine, Gordon.
Well, okay, let's hear it.
You are going out into that street on your own right now.
They'll kill me.
Will they? If you've been on the level with me, I suppose they will shoot you. But if this is a put-up job, and you are working with them, then maybe they won't. But in that case, I'll know you've been conning me, and I'll shoot you. Heads you lose, tails you lose. That's about right, isn't it, Gordo? Now, get moving.
That was part 3 of Downpayment on Death, a thriller serial for radio adapted by Jim Eldridge from his own novel, and featuring Dinsdale Landon as Art Gordo. Louise Lenehan was played by Francis Jeter, Paul Leclerc by Donald G., Sally Leclerc by Joanna Wake, Leon Young by Basil Henson, and Charles Allweather by Glyn Owen. The program was produced by John Fawcett Wilson. We present Downpayment on Death. A thriller in 5 parts. Adapted from his own novel by Jim Eldridge. With Dinsdale Landon as Art Gordo. Part 4, the professionals.
Now, look. It's a setup, Allweather. The man on the phone says I've got 10 minutes to kill you or they bomb this flat. We've got to get out.
It's a setup, all right, but you organize it, Gordo. You got me here tonight to set me up for a killing. That's right, isn't it? That's the deal you have with them.
Look, you're off your rocker.
Hands in the air, Gordo, and keep them there.
Look, I have an idea. I can get us out of this.
Won't be as good as mine.
Well, okay. Let's hear it.
You're going out into that street on your own, right now.
But they'll kill me.
Will they? If you've been on the level with me, I suppose they will shoot you. But if this is a put-up job and you are working with them, then maybe they won't. But in that case, I'll know you've been conning me, and I'll shoot you. Heads you lose, tails you lose. That's about right, isn't it, Gordo? Now, get moving.
Look, at least listen to my idea, Allweather.
I'm not interested. On your way, Gordo.
Allweather was right. I couldn't win. This was the crunch, and I was the man in the middle. I'd given up the old job because I was sick of killing, and I'd said no to this one for the same reason. I had to get that across to Allweather. Well, at least Louise was out of the way. That was one thing to be thankful for.
Okay, Gordo, you're wasting time.
What do I have to say to convince you? I'm on your side, Allweather.
Go out there and prove it.
Look, don't you see? Right, so I go out there. Now, whether or not they kill me, they're going to get you regardless. I mean, you're the main target. You're the man they want dead. And even you can't find a bomb, Allweather.
You say this flat belongs to your girlfriend,
yes.
Louise? Is it a back way out?
No.
What about the roof?
Oh, look, I've checked everything. No way. The only way out of here is through the front door onto the street.
I see.
Well, do you listen to my idea?
It's because I listen to you that I'm in this spot.
Look, Allweather, we've worked together in the department. You know me well enough. You know I'm straight.
People change.
Not me. Anyway, look, if I wanted to kill you, I'd have done it by now. You know that. I'm a pro. No, correction. I used to be a pro. Now, the two of us, working together, we've got a chance. You send me out there, and you've thrown away that chance. You'll be on your own.
I'm probably going to regret this. But okay. Gordo, what's your idea? And it had better be good.
Well, I think it is. You see, we pretend that I've killed you.
What?
I said pretend. But we stage your killing for their benefit.
You're mad.
No, I'm serious. I think it's the one chance we have of getting out of this alive. If it doesn't work, we're dead anyway.
Go on.
Right. Now, we throw a few things around, make a bit of a noise as if we're struggling, and keep well away from that window just in case. Then I fire a couple of shots.
You're not firing anything.
Okay, you do it. They won't know anyway. Then I go out into the street.
And leave me here?
It's what you wanted me to do a couple of minutes ago.
What makes you so sure they won't shoot you?
I'm not. But they'll have heard the shots. I think they'll hold off until they find out what's happened.
And then?
And then I go to your car, open it up, and then come back and drag you out as if you're dead. I dump you in the car and drive off.
While they stand and watch?
They left it to me to dispose of your body. I think they'll hold off.
It'll never work. Even if they let you get to the car first time, they'll make sure and shoot us both on the second trip.
Look, I reckon it's just that. Or just sit here and wait to be blown up.
I don't know.
After all, I've done the job as far as they're concerned. Well?
It might work, if you're on the level.
Well, at least it gives us a chance.
All right, Gordo. But remember, I'll be holding this gun. Any smell of a double-cross, and you get it. Is that clear?
Clear. Now, come on. We've only got a few minutes before things get explosive. Now, are you ready for the play?
Anytime you like.
Right. Right. Now, fire the shots. Right, now.
Well, so far, so good.
Phew, God, what a mess. Louise isn't going to like this.
To hell with that.
Yes. Well. Now for the tricky bit.
It's your play now, Gordo. And I'm coming down the stairs with you. I'll be just behind the door, so watch it when you get to that car. Any funny business, and I'll blow your head off.
Look, I need your keys.
Here. And remember, I'm watching you.
You think I can forget? I've been through this before, when I worked for the department. It gets worse every time. You hope they're not going to smell the fear. You never get used to it. I'd reached the car. Well, no problem so far. Nobody was shooting. I stopped for a moment. I looked around. I wondered what Allweather was thinking. I started to walk back to the door, nice and easy. You learn how to look relaxed when you're tight inside.
Well, they didn't shoot you.
I noticed.
They could be waiting to get us both.
Well, we'll soon find out. Now, I'm going to drag you to the car. It'll look better if I don't carry you.
Makes me an easier target.
We're both easy targets out there. Now, get down.
You make it look good.
Don't worry. Our lives might depend on it. Allweather was a big man. This was no act. It was hard work, dragging him to the car. It must have looked good to the men who'd been watching.
So far, so good.
Quiet. We're not out of it yet.
Well, get him over.
We've made it.
Looks like it. Are we being followed?
I don't think so. I can't see anyone in the driving mirror. Well, now are you convinced I'm on your side?
Not really. Your life is at stake as well.
Okay, so don't be grateful.
Have you thought what comes next?
Once I've dropped you off, I'm going back.
You're going back to that flat?
Those were my instructions, after I disposed of your body.
If I were you, I'd keep going. Get out of the country.
Look, they're still holding the Leclercs as hostages, remember? I've got to make sure they've been released.
I don't suppose it's occurred to you that the Leclercs might be working with them.
That's ridiculous. Well, they're good friends.
Maybe. But these people who want me killed, they knew you were staying at the Leclercs. They knew you met me near Newbury.
I must have been tailed. Well, they tapped Louise's phone.
We can only assume that.
But it's because that phone was tapped, they were on to us the night. They knew that you were coming to the flat.
Or because they were watching this place. We knew they were somewhere outside. Remember rule number 1. Never trust your friends. They might be your worst enemies.
Not Paul and Sally.
Okay. But if they're not working for the other side, I reckon they'll be dead by now.
But they said they'd release them when you'd been killed. That was part of the deal.
Now, do you believe that?
If they're alive, I'm going to save them.
You're crazy.
Maybe. Now, what about you?
Vic Parsons will take care of that. He's my number 2.
Well, can you trust him?
He'll keep his mouth shut.
Oh, so long as he does. We don't know who else in your outfit is working for our mysterious friend.
My department's clean.
Well, Clark wasn't. Rule number 1, remember?
Okay, point taken.
Right, now, what's Parsons' address? And I'll take you there.
You just dropped me somewhere south of the river.
Well, all right. You're being careful. But tell me when. I don't want to waste any time getting back to Hampstead. Well, I suppose I didn't really want to know where Allweather was going. What you don't know, you can't tell. I just hoped the people who wanted him killed wouldn't ask. So, there was just the one piece of unfinished business left, to make sure Paul and Sally Leclerc were released. And then, with a bit of luck, I'd drop out of circulation for a bit. Allweather was right. It was the only intelligent thing to do.
Double 391.
You have returned, Mr. Gordo.
Well, are you surprised? You've still got the Leclercs, remember?
Such loyalty to one's friends is touching. Where is Charles Allweather?
Well, where do you think?
This is not a quiz game, Mr. Gordo. I want to know.
Well, let's just say he's disposed of.
Then Charles Allweather is dead?
Yes.
How did you kill him?
I bit his toe.
I'm serious, Mr. Gordo. I do want to know.
All right. I shot him with a gun.
And where is his body?
That's my business. Better that way, don't you think? Now, what about the Leclercs? I've done the job. Well, have you released them? Well, come on, man. Hello? Hello? Spying. Intelligence. It's a dirty game. But it's got its own set of rules that both sides stick to, or are supposed to. I kept thinking what Allweather had said. He was right. I'd never have trusted these people in the old days. They had to let Paul and Sally go. I mean, I'd done the job. Allweather was dead. Well, as far as they knew, anyway. All right. All right. I'm coming.
Arthur Gordo?
Yes.
Keep your hands where we can see them. Search them.
What is
this?
this? He's clean.
Put the cuffs on him.
What's all this about?
Shut up. Take him to the car. Put him on that chair by the wall.
Look, what the hell's going on?
You've no idea.
Well, of course I haven't.
What were you doing in that flat? It's not your home.
He belongs to a friend. She's away for a day or two.
Yes?
Yes. It's all right. She knows I'm staying there.
Someone sent us a tape recorder. I'd like you to listen to it.
Then Charles Allweather is dead? Yes. How did you kill him? I bit his toe. I'm serious, Mr. Gordo. I do want to know. All right. I shot him with a gun. And where is his body? That's my business. Better that way, don't you think? Now.
Well,
what?
Interesting, don't you think?
Oh, it's a good impersonation.
Where is Allweather's body, Gordo?
You've lost me.
You're saying that's not your voice on the tape?
Of course not.
We can run a voice print on it.
Voice prints can be fake.
Come off it, Gordo. Allweather's missing. The last we heard, he was meeting you last night. This morning we get that tape. Seems you were the last to see him. So, if he isn't dead, where is he?
How do I know?
I'll lay it on the line, Gordo. If you talk, you'll leave here alive. If not...
Well, suspect dies in custody. It won't look good in the papers.
The papers won't get it.
Anyway, what good is killing me going to do?
Gordo, I don't like people who kill coppers.
Well, first find your dead copper.
Ow. Now you tell me where to find Allweather's body or I'll half-kill you.
Oh, you have such a gentle manner.
Ever seen anyone beaten to death?
Oh, well, I haven't followed your career that closely. Ow.
Hold him up against the wall. By the time I've finished, you'll have lost your sense of humour.
You've got the wrong man.
Where's the body?
I'll kill you when I get out of this.
Let's get it straight, Gordo. Allweather's missing. I think you killed him.
I didn't.
Pick him up. Now we'll start again, shall we? From the top. Where's Allweather's body, Gordo? Where did you dump it? Oh, good morning, sir.
Morning. Is that the man you picked up?
Yes, sir.
Has he talked yet?
He will, sir.
I demand to see my lawyer.
No, easy, Francis. I need something left from Merton Street.
There's no need for that, sir. Give me another few minutes. We can get it out of him.
Yes, I'm sure you can, but so can Merton Street, and easier. Tape his mouth and dump him in my car. It's outside in the yard. I'll take him off your hands. I'm sorry I couldn't spring you earlier, Gordo. It wouldn't have looked genuine.
Oh, well, thanks for the attention to detail, Parsons. He nearly killed me.
I'll put in a claim for your medical expenses.
Another few minutes with Francis, and I'd have needed a coffin.
Oh, no dice. You resigned. You have to be a member of staff to qualify for a department funeral.
What do you do with the rest? Dump them in the canal?
Sometimes.
Where's Allweather?
He's all right.
I know he was going to your place. Is he still there?
No.
Well, where is he then?
He doesn't think you ought to know. You might reveal where he is under pressure to the wrong people.
No, you know me better than that. Anyway, they probably know where he is. They seem to know everything else.
Very efficient.
Oh, that's an understatement. Now, how did Special Branch get that tape?
Delivered anonymously this morning in a plain parcel.
You know, Parsons, what really gets me is how the other side always knows about every move I make. I mean, nearly before I make it. I mean, it's uncanny.
Wasn't always like that, was it?
No, it wasn't.
It's a pity.
What do you mean?
You were good. Once.
And?
Just that. You were a good operator. One of the best in the department. A touch too hard for some, but you were good.
Well, go on.
Let's face it, you didn't win any prizes for popularity. But that's not what the game's about, is it? I mean, take this business you're involved in now. You're in a real mess. You've been given the runaround. You don't know whether you're coming or going. Wouldn't have been like that a year ago, not to you. You'd have been right there, regardless of anything, or anybody. Right there on top of it. I reckon you've gone soft.
You what?
Oh, just my opinion.
I see. Because I've tried to rejoin the human race. You know, trust people, get concerned about friends, things like that. Oh, that's soft, Is it? That's bad.
Something like that.
Oh, I can see why Allweather made you his number two. I mean, you've got all the right qualifications.
Thanks.
Yeah, but you're not going to settle for that, are you? Oh, no, number two. Oh, no, that can't be the end, surely. I mean, what comes next? Let's see, there's Allweather's job for a start, isn't there? Then head of MI7. I mean, I am right. That is the general direction.
I hope so. In time.
You're ready now, mate. I mean, you really are. Now, look. Are you really taking me to Merton Street?
No, I just had to get you away from Special Branch.
Right, well, stop the car.
Why?
Why? Because I want to get out, that's why. I don't feel very well.
Okay, Gordo, anything you say.
But, Hudson's, I used to say I left the department because I was sick of the job. I was sick of killing. You know, I'd forgotten until now. I left because I was sick of some of the people I had to work with. People like you, Parsons.
Cheers, Gordo. Be seeing you.
pub was almost empty. Just me and a barman who felt like talking to someone. But it wasn't going to be me, not today. I took my drink over to a table in the corner. It suited me fine. Oh, God, I was angry. Parsons had really got me going. Trouble was, I wasn't just angry with Parsons. He reminded me of something. If you're in a dirty business, you can't play it with clean hands. And that's what I tried to do. I'd reacted like an amateur. To start with, I was too close to this whole affair. Well, friends were involved, but it was still a mistake. I trusted everyone in sight, well, more or less, and that can be fatal for them as much as me. No, it was my problem. I had to keep it to myself from now on. I tried to quit, but the other side wouldn't let me. So, I was going to have to keep playing, and according to their rules. But let's be honest, I know those rules. They used to be mine.
Hello? Who is it? Art, it's you.
Hello, Louise. What are you doing here?
Well, I was just going to say the same. I didn't expect to see you.
You should be miles away. I didn't ask you to leave here for fun, you know. After those threats.
I know, but...
So why did you come back? You know what we arranged.
Oh, I went to these friends of mine down in Sussex, but I couldn't settle. I kept thinking about you up here on your own.
I can look after myself.
But I was worried, Art, and when I got back to the flat and saw this mess, well...
Yes, I know. I'm sorry. In fact, I came back here to tidy up a bit.
Oh, what's been happening? You had a fight or something?
Well, yeah, something like that.
And that business with the Allweather man, is that cleared up now?
No, forget about that, will you?
Why?
Now, look, Louise. Too many innocent people have become involved in this. There's you, the Leclercs, and look what happened to them. Well, not anymore. It's strictly my problem from now on.
Art, please,
there's still some risk, you being here. So you get right off back to Sussex right now.
Art, I just want to know what's happened while I've been away.
Look, I mean it. Whatever I've done is my affair. It's past history now. The less you know about it, the better.
You've killed him, haven't you, Art?
What?
You've killed Charles Allweather, and you did it here in my flat.
Look, leave it.
That's why you wanted me out of the way, isn't it? You changed your mind.
I said leave it.
You said you'd find a way to save the Leclercs. You'd work something out. Well, you did, didn't you, Art?
Louise!
And you told me you weren't going to kill Allweather. You promised me you'd given up killing, but that's why you got Allweather here to this flat, to kill him. That's right, isn't it? Well, you might as well tell me.
Louise, just why did you come back to the flat?
Don't change the subject.
No, I want to know. Why did you come back?
I told you. I was worried about you.
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry, Art, but what is it?
I don't believe you.
What?
You heard me.
But I swear it's true.
Yeah, well, I don't think so.
Well, I suppose I was worried about the shop as well.
Look, just now, when I walked into this flat, you were surprised to see me. No, you were very surprised.
You just caught me on the hop. I didn't expect to see you.
Yeah, that's what you said when I came in. Why?
Well, I don't know.
There's no reason I shouldn't have been here, is there? You knew I was in the flat. You were going to ring me here Monday to check everything was all right. That it was safe for you to come back.
Well, yes, but...
Well, you knew the possible danger of being here. You'd been threatened. Well, so you told me.
But I was.
Okay, and yet, knowing all that, you still came back. Without checking with me first.
But I told you I was...
Yeah, and I don't believe you. I think you knew it was safe to return. Because you've been told from somewhere that I wasn't here. That I couldn't be here because I'd been removed. Taken out of circulation. Right?
Now, how would I know that? Really, Art, God knows how you've arrived at this, but you've got it wrong.
Have I, Louise?
Yes, you have.
Well, then tell me, how did you know that I asked Charles Allweather to come here yesterday?
But I didn't.
Oh, but you did. You said so just now. That I got Allweather here to kill him.
Oh, please,
Now,
Art.
look. I didn't phone him until after you'd left for Sussex. So how did you know?
Oh, well, I suppose you must have.
Go on.
I must have assumed it. That's what you were going to do?
Yeah, well, that is not good enough, Louise.
Oh, this is crazy. It's like a bad dream.
No, it's me that's crazy. I trusted you.
But I'm only in this because you brought me into it.
Just me, Louise. Are you sure?
What do you mean?
I think you know more about this than you're telling.
I don't,
And
Art.
I say you do.
No.
Now, come on, Louise. Let's hear it.
Please, Art, you're hurting my arm.
How very ungallant. No. Don't turn round, Mr. Gordo. And no tricks, please. I could hardly miss from this range.
Oh, I've heard that voice before. Let me guess.
Put your hands on your head and stand quite still. Good. not carrying a gun. You really have retired, haven't you, Mr. Gordo?
I'd like to think so.
Now you may turn round.
Oh, thanks. You know, I wondered when we were going to meet.
I must apologize, Miss Lenihan, for interrupting your little conversation. It was becoming quite embarrassing.
Who's your new friend, Louise? Or is he so new?
Oh, Art, please.
You took us quite by surprise, Mr. Gordo, arriving as you did.
Yeah, I'll bet.
We were having such a pleasant little tete-a-tete. I really thought you were otherwise engaged.
You mean Special Branch? You arranged that invitation, of course.
Of course.
Well, at least that clears up one mystery.
Yes, Mr. Gordo?
Why you were always one step ahead of me. Always knew what I was doing. Now, you told him, Louise. I mean, you told him everything.
You don't understand, Art.
Yeah, well, I hope they paid you well.
We can be very generous, as you know yourself.
Oh, yes. Well, you've got plenty of money to throw about. Mr. Louise, you still haven't introduced me.
It hardly seems important, but if you must, my name is Young.
Oh, well, very pleased to meet you, Mr. Young. Now, we can all be friends, can't we, Louise?
What's she going to do?
As it happens, things have turned out very well. For me, at least.
Oh.
We must admit it, Mr. Gordo. You were always in a difficult situation, for which I apologize, but there you are. Which reminds me, there are still one or two questions I should like to ask you, you know.
Well, anything I can do to help.
But not here, not in Miss Lenihan's flat. Not an ideal environment. And personally, I would hate to further embarrass Miss Lenihan.
I'm sure. She's a very sensitive lady, aren't you, Louise?
Anyway, Miss Lenihan's part in this affair is now completed. I think we may say a very satisfactory, if brief, association. I'm very grateful, Miss Lenihan. But I shall not impose on your hospitality any longer.
Where are you taking me?
To a better place, Mr. Gordo, for my purpose at least.
Well, I think I'd rather stay here.
He will be all right, won't he, Mr. Young?
That will largely depend on Mr. Gordo, and the degree to which he cooperates with us.
You won't be difficult, will you, Art?
Me? Oh, difficult.
Oh, please, Art, for my sake.
You would be wise to follow her advice, Mr. Gordo.
Yes, well, we'll see.
Indeed, we will. And now I'm afraid you will have to excuse me for a moment or two.
Oh, yes, well, it's the first door on the right. I mean, you can't miss it.
Really, Mr. Gordo. Now, Forbes is parked a little way down the street. I think we should bring the car to the front door. Don't want to attract too much attention, do we?
No. I mean, that would never do.
Please step over to the wall, Mr. Gordo, by the radiator. Thank you. And lower your left arm carefully. Now, Miss Lenihan, if you would fasten one end of these handcuffs to Mr. Gordo's wrist. That's it. And now the other end to the radiator pipe. Excellent. Sorry about this, Mr. Gordo, but you understand. I shall not be long, so don't get impatient.
I'm sorry, Art.
Yeah, I can see.
I mean it, but... Oh, you wouldn't understand.
Oh, but I do, Louise. You're not the first one, you know.
No.
But why? That's what I'd like to know. I mean, we had a good thing going.
I've been very well paid.
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
And he said, well, no harm would come to you. He isn't after you, not really.
Do you believe that? How long?
A couple of days.
God.
Just after you were approached. I was offered a lot of money. Like you, I took it. That's the difference. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I heard the first time.
I like you, Art. I always have. You know that, but... Oh, well, it's more money than I'm ever likely to see in a lifetime.
Yeah, I can imagine. But do you think you're going to live to enjoy it?
I don't see why not.
Oh, look, you're kidding yourself. I mean, these people, you really think you can trust them? You think they're going to say, they're going to wave goodbye and leave it at that? Oh, you know too much.
But I don't. Well, not very much. And you heard him. I'm finished with it now.
You're never finished. Not in this business. You might think you are, but it doesn't happen that way. Now, Louise, now you just listen to me. Now, please.
Well done, Mr. Gordo. Well done.
Well, thanks for nothing.
Still can't say I blame you. A little seed of doubt. Yes, I suppose it was worth a try.
You never know. It might have worked.
I think not. You know, I do believe I understand Miss Lenihan rather better than you. Does that surprise you?
It must have been a lot of money.
Oh, it was, Mr. Gordo. However, it's time we were going. We have a great deal to talk about. So if you would take this key, Miss Lenihan, and readjust the handcuff to Mr. Gordo's free wrist, then we shall be ready to leave. And I must thank you once again, Miss Lenihan. Indeed, you could not have been more cooperative. A real pleasure to do business with you. Well, Mr. Gordo, shall we be going?
Okay.
Oh, and do be careful. Remember, I have a gun. Well, goodbye, Miss Lenihan.
Yes.
Bye, Louise.
Goodbye, Art. See you.
They're just words, a cliche. But I wondered if she believed she would see me again. The eyes didn't look quite so certain. Young didn't speak as we went downstairs, and I'd nothing to say anyway. It really hadn't been my day. It started badly, and it was getting worse all the time.
The back seat, if you would, Mr. Gordo. Thank you. Well, Forbes, back to the office, I think.
Yes, sir.
Now we can relax, Mr. Gordo. You know, I just can't tell you how much I look forward to meeting you, in person, as it were.
Oh, well, I'm sure.
Yes, a man with your reputation. You're very highly thought of, you know. Very highly thought of.
Really?
Indeed, I must confess, I've never fully understood why you left MI7. I'm surprised they let you go. I would have thought you were destined for the top.
Wrong school.
I beg your pardon.
I went to the wrong school.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Gordo. Forbes, what time do you make it?
Coming up to Hoboscombe.
Thank you. Just pull into the side of the road, would you?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you've forgotten something?
No, don't worry, Mr. Gordo. We shall only be a few seconds.
What is it?
One moment, if you please.
What? Now, wait a minute.
Yes, Mr. Gordo. I'm afraid so.
Why?
Thank you, Forbes. That was very silly of you, Mr. Gordo. Now, would you please sit quite still?
You filthy...
Yes, I know. And such a charming girl. Very sad.
Look, Young, if it's the last thing I do, I'm going to get you.
Mr. Gordo, I do understand how you feel, believe me. Forbes, you can drive on now.
Right, sir.
All very unfortunate, Mr. Gordo. But you are a professional. You know the rules. One just cannot afford to leave any loose ends.
I told her. Well, I tried to warn her.
So you did, Mr. Gordo.
My God.
However, to more pressing matters. And I think perhaps from here I shall have to blindfold you. I'm sorry, but there it is. But it won't be for long, Mr. Gordo, I promise you. A few questions, a few answers. The moment of truth, I suppose. Your moment of truth.
That was part 4 of Downpayment on Death, a thriller serial for radio, adapted by Jim Eldridge from his own novel, and featuring Dinsdale Landon as Art Gordo. Charles Allweather was played by Glyn Owen, Leon Young by Basil Henson, Francis and Forbes by Douglas Blackwell, Parsons by Terence Hardiman, and Louise Lenehan by Francis Jeter. The program was produced by John Fawcett Wilson. We present Downpayment on Death. A thriller in 5 parts. Adapted from his own novel by Jim Eldridge. With Dinsdale Landon as Art Gordo. Part 5, The Moment of Truth.
In here, Gordo, come on.
And remove the blindfold, if you would, Forbes.
Yes, sir.
That's better, isn't it, Mr. Gordo?
Yes, thanks. The walls could do with a coat of paint.
Do sit down. And no sudden movements, please. Forbes is an excellent shot.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, Mr. Gordo, you were very quiet during the journey here. Collecting your thoughts, maybe?
Yes, Young was right. I had been quiet, and he knew why. I'd come across a few nasty incidents when I worked for MI7, but the bombing of Louise's flat, that just about capped the lot. All right, I mean, she betrayed me to Young. The money had been too big a temptation. But I still couldn't bring myself to blame her too much. If I hadn't involved her in the first place, she might not have been tempted. I tried to warn her. She shouldn't trust Young. But it was no satisfaction to be proved right.
I do believe you're allowing that incident to prey on your mind. You mustn't, you know. You'll need a clear head for our little conversation.
Yes, well, come on, get on with it.
A question, Mr. Gordo. Have you killed Charles Allweather?
You know I have. I told you on the phone I shot him.
Yes, and if I believe that, we could end this conversation right now. Your usefulness to me would be over. And Forbes, here, well, he would shoot you.
So why are we talking?
There's another question. I've given it a lot of thought in the last hour or so. I'm sure you can help me.
Well, you know me, anything.
You were picked up by Special Branch.
Yes, thanks to that tape that you sent them.
Exactly. Now, the evidence on that tape was fairly incriminating, I'd have thought. Certainly strong enough for them to keep you in custody. And yet they released you. Now, why should they do that, do you think?
Well, you better ask them.
You see, Mr. Gordo, the more I think about this, the more I come to the same conclusion.
Oh, yes?
Yes, I believe you were released because Special Branch know you are innocent. Because they know that Charles Allweather is not dead. Am I right, Mr.
Well,
Gordo?
does it matter?
Indeed it does. I paid you to do a job, and if you fail to complete it, well, I call that a double cross. I'm left with no alternative. Forbes will have to shoot.
So what's the point? I get it either way. Well, more of your loose ends tidied up.
But don't you see, Mr. Gordo, that is why we are still talking. Now, there may have been certain factors, circumstances that made it difficult for you to complete the contract. If so, please tell me. We're both professionals, after all. But I must know now if Allweather is alive. And I must know where he is. You know, it would give me no satisfaction to have to eliminate a man of your reputation, and for such a stupid reason. It's not worth it, surely. And I will discover the truth, ultimately. You know that.
All right. Allweather is alive.
So, my assumption was correct. Good. We're progressing. Now, where is he,
Well,
Mr.
he's
Gordo?
safe, as far as I know.
But where?
What if I don't know?
Oh, do try to remember. Time is valuable to me. A quick answer is important. It may save your life. So, Mr. Gordo, where is Charles Allweather?
I remember what Parsons had said. There might come a time when I'd reveal Allweather's hideout, if I'd known it. That's why I hadn't been told. I looked at Forbes, and the gun barrel aimed straight at my head. And then Young. Oh, I'd seen the way this man operated. He was a cold one. Oh, no, this was no bluff.
Well, Mr. Gordo, nothing to say? Well, Forbes, either he doesn't know or he's not telling us. I think you'd better shoot him.
Hold on.
Yes, Mr. Gordo?
Okay, I'll talk.
You're very wise.
But not before I have some guarantee that you won't kill me, when I've told you what you want to know.
Mr. Gordo, you're in no position to negotiate terms.
Now, look, you want some information, you want it fast. Now, I've got that information, but you're not getting a word out of me before I have that guarantee.
And if that is impossible?
Well, then you shoot me, and you lose out on Allweather.
If I should agree to your proposition, just what did you have in mind?
Simple. You release the Leclercs, you give me a car and safe return to my flat. No funny business. And when we get there, I'll tell you where Allweather is hiding out.
You must be joking, Mr. Gordo.
Well, have a laugh and then think it over. But you need Allweather dead by Wednesday.
I think you're bluffing, Mr. Gordo.
So go ahead and shoot me. You're in the driving seat, but if you want that information...
Very well. I accept your proposition.
You won't regret it.
I hope not for your sake, Mr. Gordo. Because if you are misleading me, then you merely postpone your death. But now there are arrangements to be made. It'll take a few minutes, so until I'm ready, Forbes...
Yes, sir?
Take Mr. Gordo downstairs, will you?
Do you want him with the other prisoners?
No, I think not. Put him in the strong room. It won't be for long.
Right, sir. Come on, you, on your feet.
I led the way. Forbes was close behind me, but not too close. It had worked. All I'd gained was a little time. When Young rumbled I'd been bluffing, well, that was goodbye, Art Gordo. Now, that wasn't a pleasant thought. God, I had to try something. I reckon it was going to take Young 10 minutes or so to fix the arrangement. Now, I couldn't afford to wait till then. It would be too late. So if I was going to make a move, it had to be now. I stopped.
What is it, Gordo?
How far is this strong room?
Come on, get moving.
To help me on my way, he jabbed me in the back with his gun, which was just what I wanted. That put him within range. I swung round sharply, made a grab for his gun, and let him have it hard with my foot. Right, Forbes. Now, one word out of you, and I'll shoot you. Now, cut it out. I haven't got time. Now, where are the Leclercs?
I don't know.
Those are the prisoners. Now, where are they? Okay, man, if you're tired of living...
No,
Now, let's hear it, then. Now, come on.
They're downstairs in the basement.
Any guards down there?
No.
Now, if you're lying...
They're not guarded, but the door's locked.
Where are the keys?
Mr. Young has them. He keeps them.
I don't think so. I think you're the jailer around here. Now, where are they?
I'm not saying...
You're being very difficult, Forbes. Now, you tell me, or I'll kill you. Now, where are those keys?
Here, in my pocket.
I thought so. Right, now, get moving. After you, Forbes. Now, switch the light on.
What is it this time?
Art! Hello, Paul. You okay?
Yes.
And Sally?
Oh, yes, I'm all right.
Good.
You think so? God, I wish we'd never heard of Art Gordo.
Leave it, Sally. We haven't got time now. Forbes, how do we get out of here?
Up the stairs.
Look, there's got to be another exit. Now, come on.
It's the only way, I swear.
What was that?
It's the alarm. They know you're missing.
Right, well, we better get a move on. Now, come on, Paul, Sally.
Too late, Gordo. You're not going anywhere. The stairs will be guarded by now. They'll be coming to search for you. You'd better give up.
He's right, Art. They're bound to try this room first.
Well, let's have a look. No, yes, there's no window.
There's a ventilation shaft over there.
No good, it's too small.
You can forget it, mate. There's no way out.
The corridor outside. Now, where does it lead to?
Nowhere, just a blank wall. I said the only way out is the way we came. They'll have that covered.
Yes.
You've had it, Gordo.
Get down, Paul!
My God!
You shot him, Art! You've killed him!
I looked at the body of the guard. Phew, that had been close. But what a stupid thing to do. He was a fool. He should have fought first. I wondered, maybe Young had ordered him to do it. Take them by surprise. Yes, that's the sort of thing that Young would try to pull. And he knew now for sure where we were holed up. But what about me? All those promises I'd made. No more killing. All gone in that one bullet. But what do you do, It was the old instinct. Survival above all.
Oh, do you realise? You've killed him!
What do you want? You'd rather it be me, eh? Paul, get his gun.
What are we going to do?
Now, let's think. We've got 2 guns and Forbes here as hostage. I think that we're going to have to make a run for it.
You're crazy. We'll get killed.
Out there, in here, does it make any difference?
Well, I'm not going. You're the one they want. I'm not going to sacrifice myself for your sake.
Sally's right. I'm sorry, Art, but if we stay here quietly, I think they'll let us go.
Oh, now, do you think that I'd be here if I thought that?
We don't want your help. We'll be better off without you.
Mr. Gordo!
That's Young.
Mr. Gordo, can you hear me?
Go to hell!
There is no way out, Mr. Gordo. No way of escape. I would advise you to give up now.
Yes, I'm sure you would.
Now, if you would throw your gun out into the corridor and come out with your hands up, then maybe we can come to some arrangement.
No, they can't rush us. Now, if they could, Young wouldn't be talking.
Listen to him, Art.
Oh, come on, you're not serious.
But it's worth thinking about, isn't it? He's offering a way out of this.
Oh, yes, I know what that'll be.
Well, Mr. Gordo?
Get naughty!
Mr. Leclerc, you're a sensible person. We have nothing against you and your wife, so please come out. You will be perfectly safe, I assure you.
Don't believe in him. If you go out of that door, you're dead for sure.
I promise you, you and your wife will be sure of a safe return if you give yourselves up.
Don't believe them. Now, listen, if they get you, they'll kill you. Now, do you understand? You're both witnesses. They can't afford to let you go.
Sally, I think we have to go along with Art.
No, Paul, it's too big a risk.
But it's one we're going to take all the same. Now, Forbes, that room across the corridor, the one with the red door. Now, what is it?
It's nothing special.
Now, look, come on, man.
Well, it's a sort of storeroom, that's all.
Right. Now, you and I are going to take a look.
But you can't. You'll get shot.
I'm going to use Forbes as a shield. Now, Paul, as we get out of this door, I want you to fire a few shots in the general direction of Young and his crowd. Now, that should keep their heads down for a couple of seconds. Now, that's all I need. Okay, Forbes? Now, you ready, Paul?
I think so.
Right. Now, when I say fire, let them have it, okay? Fire! I pushed Forbes across the corridor, my gun in the small of his back. Young and his men were keeping out of sight in the stairwell down the corridor. Well, Forbes, you can thank God it wasn't locked. Now, you stand quite still, Forbes, while I can see you. Now, let's have a look around.
You'll never make it, Gordy. You don't stand a chance.
Yes, it was a storeroom, not very big, a few packing cases and some boxes. But I could see why Forbes had been a bit hesitant. In one of those boxes, there were half a dozen submachine guns and clips of ammunition. In another, a small pile of hand grenades. I picked up one of the machine guns. It was like meeting an old friend again. I slipped a few clips of ammo and half a dozen grenades into my pockets. Right, Forbes, we're going back across the corridor.
No, again, mate. They'll be ready this time. They'll kill me and you.
No choice, Forbes. Get moving or I'll kill you here and now.
All right.
We made it to halfway when they hit Forbes. It was just a few yards. I literally dived through the door into the other room.
Are you all right?
Yes, I think so. How's Forbes? Can you see?
He's in a bad way, but I think he's still alive.
Paul and Sally look sick. I'd never got used to this sort of scene. His wife packed in the old job. But God knows how they felt.
Art, we've been talking.
Oh, yes?
And Sally wants to go out. She's sure they'll let us both go.
I've told you they won't. No way.
Art, after what we've been through and now all this, it's your battle. I want no more part of it.
You've just seen. They shot one of their own men.
I'm sorry, Art, but I don't care. Are you coming with me, Paul?
But you heard what Art said.
All right, I'll go by myself. Mr. Young, can you hear me? I'm coming out. I've got no gun.
Look, stop her, Paul.
Let come back, please. Don't be a fool. Look.
You filthy... Come on, son. No, leave him. Leave him.
No.
In here, now, quick.
Paul. They killed Paul.
That did it. Everything I'd ever felt about the Youngs of this world, the dirty tricks, the senseless killing, the stench of this whole rotten business. It just blew up inside me. First Louise, now Paul. I didn't stop to think. I grabbed a couple of grenades and lobbed them, one after the other, down to the stairwell, where Young and his men were stationed.
Look out! He's throwing grenades!
Sally, please. Do you feel up to... Come on, Sally. Yeah, all right. Now, you stay here, quietly. I'm just going to see what's happening. I won't be far away. Poor girl. She just couldn't believe it. Couldn't take it in. And why should she have to? It was going to be hard enough for me to live with, but Sally... I put a full clip of ammo in the gun and crept out of the room. No one was shooting, so I moved very slowly down towards the stairwell. Still no signs. No signs of life. Just the smoke. And the smell of cordite. I stopped at the corner. There was a body lying at the foot of the stairs. I listened. Nothing. They must have retreated up to the ground floor. I daren't go up. I couldn't leave Sally.
Hello? Gordo?
It startled me. The voice, it wasn't Young.
Hello? Is there anyone alive down there?
Parsons! Is that you?
Ah, good. So you are safe, Gordo. All right for me to come down?
Yes, I suppose so.
Ah, there you are.
Right in the nick of time, eh? Like the good old Marines. Your friends, the clerks, where are they?
Well, they're down here as well. But you're going to need an ambulance. The good old Marines were too late for them.
Robinson! Go and check the warehouse. Get those men out of there.
I'd seen it all before when I worked for MI7. Different place, different people, but the same old scene. Tidying up after the mess. Young's men, or those that were all right, were being bundled into cars and a couple of police vans. The ambulance boys were very busy. They always are after an operation like this. I saw them bring Sally out. They were very gentle with her. I nearly went across, but thought better of it. They put her in one of the ambulances and drove off.
Ah, there you are, Gordo. I was looking for you.
Why?
Oh, nothing special, but we're just about finished. Well, not a bad night's work, eh?
Did you get them all?
A lot. It was a big crew. You know, it just struck me. An undertaker could make a fortune following you around.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
It's Robinson. He'd like a couple more men to stay behind. Help check the warehouse.
Yes, no problem. You organize it, will you?
Right, sir.
And tell him anything he finds, I want to know about it first.
Will do, sir.
Parsons, you never said. How come you got onto this place?
Oh, I thought I told you it was your girlfriend.
Well, Louise.
That's right.
But she was killed. They blew up her flat.
That was some explosion, but no, she wasn't killed.
You mean that you were there in Hampstead?
Yes. You see, we were tailing you. But the explosion, well, we just had to investigate. That's why we lost you.
And Louise?
We found her on the stairs. She missed the worst of it.
Yeah, but is she alive?
Just.
But how did you know that she was involved?
We didn't. We took a chance. Hoped she might know something. She was a long time recovering consciousness, still, just as well we waited.
And she told you about this place here?
No, but she'd been given a phone number. We traced it from there. Anyway, at least we got here in time.
No, Parsons, not quite.
Yes, all right, I know. Sorry about your friend.
Yes. Now, Parsons, I want to see Young. Now, is that all right with you?
Is he one of the gang?
Yes.
Well, why do you want to see him?
It's personal.
I think I'll come with you.
But you don't have to.
I'd rather, if you don't mind.
Well, please yourself. Which car's he in?
No idea. We haven't got round to names yet. What's he look like?
No, tall, white hair. You can't mistake him. He looks like a city gent.
We haven't got anyone like that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, positive. I'd have spotted him.
But you told me. You said you'd got the lot.
Yes, we have. At least everyone in this building. It's a pretty tight net, you
know.
Well,
not tight enough, you damn fool. I mean, Young was here. You'd let him get away.
Look, God,
you lost him. Do you know that? I mean, God knows where he is by now.
Take it easy. We'll pick him up. When we get this lot back to Merton Street, one of them's bound to talk. It's just a matter of time.
That's what worries me. Now, wait a minute. Forbes. Now, I wonder.
Who?
The chap who was lying in the corridor. One of their own men. They shot him.
Ah, yes, I know. Bad stomach wound.
Well, where is he?
Well, they put him in the ambulance. Over by the gate.
But he might know something. Now, Parsons, I want to talk to him.
Look, they'll be leaving in a minute. I can't delay them. Anyway, he's in too bad a shape.
Like the try.
Just a minute, Gordo.
Yes.
This chap, Young, he's important.
I told you, it's personal.
All the same, if you get anything out of this Forbes, I want to know. I'm coming with you.
Hey, you!
Yes?
That man in the ambulance, I want to talk to him.
I'm sorry, that's impossible.
I know I'm sorry, but just a few words. I'll be as quick as I can.
No, I can't allow it. He's in no condition
Yeah,
to
it's
talk.
all right. I'll accept responsibility. Just give us a few seconds.
Okay, but I shall have to report this.
Yes, of course. Come on, Gordo.
Now, can you hear me? It's Gordo.
Oh, he's too far gone.
Now, Forbes, I want to find Young. He got away. Now, can you understand what I'm saying?
You're wasting your time. You're not going to get anything out of him.
Mr. Parsons?
Yes, what is it?
A radio call for you, sir. In the car.
Damn. Yeah, okay, I'm coming up. Won't be long, Gordo.
Forbes, now you know where Young lives, don't you? Where I'd find him. You can hear me, can't you, Forbes? Where is he? Where's he hide out? Now, listen to me, Forbes. Down there in that basement, it was Young who ordered his men to shoot you, your own mates. I'll get him for you, I promise. Now, come on. Where would he go? I can't hear.
Hotel King's Cross.
Yes, come on.
West Side Hotel.
Forbes.
Well, Gordo, you got anything?
No.
Are you sure?
Well, you can see he passed out.
Yeah, well, I think I'll stay with him in case he comes round. By the way, Allweather's arrived. He's looking for you.
I'll come to check on you, more likely.
Oh, I've got some bad news.
Yes?
Your girlfriend, Louise. She died a quarter of an hour ago. They couldn't save her.
I see.
I'm sorry. You were fond of her?
Yes.
Ah, there you are. All wrapped up, Parsons?
Pretty well, sir.
Good work.
Thank you, sir.
And you look about all in, Gordo.
Well, I can't think of much to laugh about at the moment.
Yes, I heard. Sorry. Anyway, it's all over for you now.
That's right.
Yes. You coming with me, Parsons?
I'd better stay with this one in the ambulance.
What's the problem?
No problem, sir. We might have missed one of them. This chap might be able to give some information, if he lives.
But you'll be coming back to the office later.
Oh, yes, sir.
Well, you did a good job, Gordo, leading us to them. If you ever want to come back to the department, we could use you.
No chance.
It's up to you, but think it over. Anyway, I'll be in touch in the morning. Clear up the loose ends. See you.
I'd hung about, waiting for the others to leave, and then I borrowed a car. Oh, there were plenty spare. Belonged to Young's men, I suppose. And I had to get to Young before Allweather and Parsons. They wanted him alive, and I wanted him... Well, there was an account to settle. The West Side Hotel wouldn't figure in my tourist guidebook. It was one of those places strictly for those in the know. Well, you know the sort. Rooms rented by the hour, and no questions asked.
Here, where are you going, mate? Oh, Mr. Young's expecting me. No one of that name here. Which room's he in? Oh, get lost, mate. I said, which room? Which room?
Okay, 16, second floor, and passage.
Thanks, and just so you don't warn him.
It wasn't a new situation, well, not to me. But it should have been easier than this. I mean, I'd done it all before. But as I went down the corridor to room 16, it was a different sort of tension. I just couldn't figure it. I felt the gun in my pocket. My hands were sweating. It hadn't been as bad as this before.
Who is it? A message for Mr. Young.
Yes?
Back in and keep your hands where I can see them. But get in that chair over there.
Yes,
no funny business, Young, but sit quite still.
I will.
Ah, that's better.
You must forgive me, Mr. Gordo, but there's something of a surprise.
Yes, I bet. That was a very good disappearing act.
Not good enough, apparently. How did you discover my little hiding place?
Forbes. Now, you shouldn't have shot him, you know. Not one of your own.
Yes, I see that. Still, now that you are here, you must have something in mind.
Oh, I have. But first, I want an answer to a question.
If I can.
I want to know why you wanted me to kill Allweather.
That's not important now.
You think so?
A total waste of time.
Now, look. You're going to tell me about all this business, and then I'm going...
And then what, Mr. Gordo? By the way, you won't need that gun.
Oh, won't I?
No, you're not going to use it.
Try me.
Mr. Gordo, I know all about you. Why you resigned from MI7. Sick of killing, that was the reason, wasn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't apply in your case.
I know that sickness. Once it eats into the soul, you're finished. A man's useless.
Now, look, down in that basement.
Instinct, Mr. Gordo. Self-preservation, we all have it. But to shoot me here, in cold blood? No, I think not.
I said, try me.
But why? There's no need. My organization is finished here, temporarily. But I can use a man with your experience. I'm sure we can do a deal. What's that?
Who is it?
Police! Open up in there!
That was a mistake, Mr. Gordo.
I didn't know. Now, and sit down.
Break the door down.
I think the fire escaped.
Stay there or I shoot.
No, you won't, Mr. Gordo.
Oh!
You damn fool.
Allweather. What are you doing here?
Why didn't you shoot him? He might have got away.
You had men outside covering.
I'm afraid you killed him, sir.
Damn. I wanted him alive. Turn out his pocket, see what you can find.
Yes, sir.
I don't understand you, Gordo, after what Young's done. Why did you kill him?
I don't know. Anyway, how come you're here?
I've been telling you.
Oh, you never let up. did you?
Someone had to. And you led us to Young. Did you get anything out of him?
No, well, nothing useful.
You sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Pity.
I've cleared out his pocket, sir.
And?
Nothing, sir.
Right, Jenkins. Run down to the car and radio for the meat wagon, will you?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll come down with you.
No, not yet.
Now, look, there is no point in me hanging about.
What did he tell you, Gordo?
Nothing, I've told you.
I don't believe you.
You can think what you like, I'm going.
Gordo, drop your gun.
Now, come off it, Allweather.
You heard me. Drop it.
You're serious.
You talk to Young. He could have told you plenty. I can't take that
Told
chance.
me what? I mean, what are you talking about?
I'm sorry, Gordo.
Oh, wait a minute. You've never met Young. So how did you know that man was Young?
Go on.
And just now, you killed him. I mean, you didn't have to. But you had to silence him.
You see, Gordo, even if he hadn't talked, you'd have figured it out, sooner or later. Pity.
Yeah, you and Young. You were mixed up together, somehow. Oh, my God.
And you're the only one left. Who knows?
Yeah, so you're going to kill me, hmm?
I have to, Gordo. I've no alternative.
And what about your man downstairs?
Simple. You try to shoot me, I shot you. There'll be no question.
Well, you're in the clear.
Right. I'm sorry, Gordo.
Allweather, don't move. Okay, Johnson, put the cuffs on him. Well, Gordo, this time the Marines were right on cue.
But I don't get it. Somebody in MI7 must have known what was going on.
No, this one came right out of the blue.
There would be murder in the department for the next few weeks.
Yeah, that's for sure. And do you know we only found out about Young's racket after questioning his men this morning?
And you call yourself intelligent?
Well, I'm not proud of that, but we get there in the end.
Well, Young must have made a fortune.
Very profitable. Freelancing, selling secrets to the highest bidder.
And no one suspected Allweather of selling secrets to Young?
Well, why should we? Senior man, good record. You need a break, some sort of clue.
But how did you rumble him?
You remember when Allweather came to see you at your girlfriend's flat?
Yeah.
He came alone.
Yeah, well, I asked him to.
When you worked for the department, would you have gone alone to meet someone that you knew had been paid to kill you? Like hell you would. And Allweather was a careful man, didn't take unnecessary risks. That worried me. So I went to the old man, asked if I could check on Allweather.
And he agreed?
Yes. But suspicion's one thing. I didn't have any proof.
So you used me as bait?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you might have told me.
You probably have blown it. No, you were the only contact we had with Young. You had to lead us to him in the end, and hopefully to Allweather.
But there's one thing I still don't know.
Yeah?
Just why did Young want Allweather dead by Wednesday?
Apparently Allweather had made a deal with some other organization. Cash payments for details of Young's outfit.
Well, he was two-timing Young?
Yes. Handover was fixed for Wednesday.
Well, Young obviously found out about it.
You've got to hand it to him. It was a clever plan.
Well, I didn't think much of it.
No, but just imagine. If Young's men had killed Allweather, well, they'd have been held to pay. We'd have been on to Young. We'd have bust his organization. But to pick someone like you, just resigned from MI7, couldn't be better. Makes it look like an internal job. Result? Well, you know the sort of thing. The department hushing everything up. And Young, not involved, safe as houses. Yes. You've got to admire him.
Well, you can, but then you're two of a kind.
That's nearly a compliment.
Yeah. Along the way, 2 innocent people get killed. And another one, well, probably scarred for life. But they don't count, do they?
There are always casualties, Gordo. It's unfortunate, but that's the game we're in.
Yeah. Parsons, do you remember I once said that you had all the qualifications for Allweather's job?
Yes, so you did.
Yes, well, I suppose you'll get it now.
I expect so.
Well, I think you're going to be very good at it. Very good indeed.
Yes, Gordo. I think I will be.
And that was that. End of conversation. I suppose I envied him. Well, a bit. Well, at least Parsons knew where he was going, what he was aiming for. The department was his whole life, as it used to be mine. But I'd resigned, or so I'd thought. Trouble was, is anyone ever allowed to resign from a job like that?
That was the final episode of Downpayment on Death, a thriller serial for radio adapted by Jim Eldridge from his own novel, and featuring Dinsdale Landon as Art Gordo with Glyn Owen as Charles Allweather. Leon Young was played by Basil Henson, Forbes by Douglas Blackwell, Paul Leclerc by Donald G., Sally Leclerc by Joanna Wake, Parsons by Terence Hardiman, and the hotel porter by Frank Coda. Other parts were played by members of the cast. The serial was produced by John Fawcett Wilson.